Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper S Viperland, and I'm back. I had a week off last week, power issues. A birthday weekend, and then immediately into power issues. Fun. Debated not streaming tonight because it's been a busy week, but I know I'm not going to be here next week because of Kineticon, so I want to at least get, if we end early, I'm not going to lose any sleep, but I can't not stream, so. It hasn't been 4,000 years. I skipped 1 week, right? It was only the week without power. The week before I was here, right? Right? Question mark? Or has it been 2 weeks? It was 2 weeks. Oh, it was the stupid hot weekend, followed by no power weekend. Yeah. Cool. All the more reason I had to be here today. So, I can't promise we'll go to time, because this has been my only day off. Tomorrow's a busy one, too. Also confirmed no stream tomorrow. I didn't realize Pot's flight was coming in later, so by the time we even get back from picking up Pots, it's going to be like 9 o'clock. So definitely no stream tomorrow. Definite chance to stream on Tuesday. Potts will be playing D&D in the campaign I'm not in. So, yeah. Alright. So Tuesday's a real chance, Wednesday's definitely out, and then the con, so. It was really just tonight and Tuesday. I forgot we left off there for that exact reason. Yeah, I did that intentionally so that Future Viper, aka me, would start up with that. I'm glad I didn't start it off camera. I like to start at the main menu because I feel like it's a good ambiance. I could have started here. I could have loaded the file, but I was like, nah. Alright. What? What do you mean separate rooms? So wait, you and George Nissan stayed in different rooms on purpose? Yes? Yeah, it's a good title screen. It's got the ambient, seagulls and water. You know, I feel like it's a solid starting point. Is it really so strange? I feel like I really should just keybind something to start the stream so I don't have to start it in windowed and then full screen it. And I used to have something bound to start the stream, but I'd occasionally accidentally hit it and like either end the stream by a mistake because of clumsy fingers, or accidentally start streaming when I just have a PlayStation game up, because I have to have OBS up. The way I route my sound, I have to have OBS up to be able to hear when I'm playing PlayStation games. It makes perfect sense for streaming, and it's only a mild inconvenience, but yeah. Is it really so strange? Jessica's cheeks had been stuffed with a chocolate-coated chinsuko biscuit that Shannon had brought as a present from Okinawa. And it all came flying out as Jessica cried out. Shannon, why did you even go on the trip to Okinawa? Literally just like, you two. You went on a date trip together. Out of town. You didn't share a hotel room? And you have no juicy stories to tell me? You don't have any juicy stories to tell me about you two in the room together? She's clearly trying to live vicariously. Where's the tea? Little shortbread things. Okay, cool. Nifty. You're even alone with the George Nissan. Well, he said there was a huge aquarium in Okinawa and invited me to go. And I like fish and stuff. Look, aquarium dates are the sexiest dates, and you're telling me you didn't go back to a room and immediately... I mean, they have to be the sexiest dates, because that's what every anime does. It's either hot springs, the beach, or aquarium. Those are the only 3 dates that can happen. So, I like fish and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I also like fish and stuff. Aquariums are great. No, that's not the point. We're talking about a healthy guy and girl going on an overnight trip, right? It is really distracting me that the blinking next icon has no background. And it shouldn't be distracting me. And I don't know why it's happening. But yeah. Also, Eric, how's it going? Thank you for continuing your 7-month of jail time. More of a... I don't know if it's always been that way. I'm wondering Usually I don't play with a controller connected, but I was playing Relink earlier, so I needed the controller. I'm wondering if that throws something off, but I don't want to mess with anything now, and I'm okay to just have it be... Okay to just have it there, it's fine. Because I know if I start fiddling with stuff, it's going to crash, and I'm going to have to reload it, and we're going to have to do it like... I don't want to do that. So it's fine. Totally fine. Also, congrats on your Soonfish. Very, very good. And he's saying there weren't even any hugs and kisses. They definitely should have, like, strung out the lettering to match the way she voiced it. And seriously, what's up with the guy and girl staying in different rooms? As for kisses, no comment. Ah, but we did hug. George-san's chest was so warm. That's not the point. Jeez. Why do couples like this exist? She just wants to hear the juicy tales of them banging. You know. Ah, jeez. Can't take it anymore. From Shannon's point of view, it was an incredibly happy trip for various reasons, but it looked like Jessica found their pace to be pretty irritating. For a while, Jessica chewed her present, complaining about romance and pretending to faint in agony on her bed. Oh, I forgot to move the mouse. Sorry, my bad. Shannon and George had chosen to go to Okinawa because there was a huge aquarium there. They did this because an aquarium had given them the opportunity to start going out. Since their relationship had started at an aquarium, having their first overnight trip also be to an aquarium must have held some commemorative value. It's like a huge commemorative turning point. Your first overnight trip, how could you not make all kinds of progress there? But instead, you both get separate rooms. A couple are taking 2 single rooms. Ah, jeez, seriously, what's wrong with you? I feel like this is only more evidence in support of the Jessica's actually best girl. Because you know what? Clearly, if she went on an aquarium date in Okinawa, she'd be like, we get in the same room. And she clearly would not hesitate to be like, hey, this is what we're doing. Let's do this. Whereas Shannon would clearly be like, I don't think Shannon has a thought in her head of her own. In their home somehow. Look. Clearly, Jessica's got some pent-up tension issues, we'll go with. And look. If Shannon and George are happy, fuck yeah, good. Whatever works for y'all. And you know what? I can see the appeal of 2 single beds, because you know what? Sometimes I just want to stretch out. But I can see both sides of this, I guess. Here's for the Jersey Shore. Yes, of course. But we were both unmarried. George-san says showing restraint is good manners for a couple. Look, couples can take whatever pace is comfortable for them. But the whole we're not married. Look, if that's how what works for you, cool. Don't think my bot went off. Which one? I thought I set them up. Oh, no I didn't. Give me a sec. You are correct. Gonna blame it on the Gone Live bot. Yeah, it's not even this bot. This is a different bot. Are you gonna start anytime? And look. Cool. If that's the pace that works for y'all, awesome.
Fishing.
But assuming that that's the same for everyone is clearly not accurate. Alright. 1 second. One more bot. I forgot both bots. Got the camera, though. Look, it's been a week, okay? I also spent, like... What was it? 11... I spent 8 hours yesterday in the hot sun of a park playing Pokemon Go. So, even on top of all the other stuff happening. That was all yesterday. And I had a good time. Caught a bunch of Pokemon. Alright, hold on. Now we go back to full screen. Cool. Now the bot's up. It probably isn't going to retroactively do the go live, but the bot's running. Let me make sure it's logged me in too. Hold on a second, because we all know it likes to not do that sometimes. I checked it last time. Cool. Because since I didn't stream like all last week, the one day I did stream, I was like, it would be the time that it would do that. But it didn't. Okay. Okay, yeah, I did read that one. Cool. Save right away. Did I? Sure. My issue with Relink is a simple one. It is really hitting my computer fans. It is making those fans really hot, and I've got it set to currently minimum settings. So I might have to either knock the frame rate down a bit, or I might have to knock the resolution down a bit. Because I've got it on minimum settings otherwise. And I don't know if I want to do 30 FPS, so I might just make it a smaller window and play that way. For what it's worth, the game still runs buttery smooth. I've had no performance hiccups. It just makes the computer really worryingly hot when I've got a mediocre air conditioner over here that is not meant to keep up with a computer going supernova. That's my only complaint. I'm having a good time with the game. I've only played a little bit of it, but I finally got New Dragon Lady up to the point where I could barely clear the start of the new story. I definitely had to recruit Grimm's really strong unit, and I definitely was under the recommended power level, but I got it done, so, you know. To be fair, I remember base game making it pretty toasty too, but I feel like it is either ratcheted up since then, what it could be. My computer's in a different house now, set up in a different way, and it might just have, like, I try to give it as much ventilation as I can, but it does have a little bit less ventilation than it did. Oh, okay, if you're also noticing it's worse now, then it might not be the situation, it might be the game. Okay. I assumed it was the situation, but... like, I could have just kept on going with Narmaya, but I wanted to swap, so it took a little bit of time to, like, get her weapon. I still don't have her with a Bahamut weapon, but I got her Ascendant weapon maxed out, and that carried me enough. I wanted to unlock some of the new stuff. I didn't realize that summons, masteries, and new, like, everything unlocked the second you do that quest. I didn't know that. I thought I had to go further. But now that I cleared that quest, it's like, here's a summon, here's your extra masteries, here you go. Cool. So, that's all I really wanted, is to just be able to play around with that. Like I said, the whole point of this overnight trip was so you could overcome that stage, right? You should be way beyond just kissing and hugging by now. Lady, I don't know what you mean by that. Really? Really? 10 minutes not usable till the new endgame anyway? Okay. So I'm good with the Ascended for now regardless. But George-sama was a real gentleman with me until the end. That is, I mean, I also wondered if those things would happen, you know? But even though we were going out, I mean, it's not like we're married or anything. Like, look, if you don't want to have sex till marriage, good for you. Cool. I feel like there's a lot of people who are forced into that mindset, not necessarily of their own will. And, like, you know, if you want to have sex before marriage, cool too. Set your own boundaries. Don't let the people in your life set the boundaries for you. Like transcendent weapons, pulls terminus away. Okay. Well, then, I mean, I'm sure I'll get better stuff anyway, but I needed a good enough weapon to even get there. I think I only have like 20k, 20.5k power. And they're like, you should have 23k. And I was like, Oh, also, hey TJ, how's it going? About to YouTube, hope you're enjoying the story. I am. I apologize to you for all of the tangents if you're watching the VODs, because at least live there's a back and forth. Sorry for all the tangents. I might have just been doing one right here, but I'm glad you're enjoying. I've actually noticed that those were getting a bunch of views, and that seems to be what people watch on my channels, is usually visual novel stuff like this, The Chaos Child gets a bunch of views. So, like, hell yeah, glad you're enjoying. I'm having a good time. I just ain't having a fast time of it. That's okay. This game was not meant... I knew I wasn't going to be shotgunning this game. We're taking it slow and steady, and we're enjoying every bit along the way. I'd say less than half. Depends on the stream, though. We definitely progress games, okay? The problem is I also like interacting with chat, and I can interact with chat and progress in games that aren't visual novels, but visual novels, it tends to... You're doing one or the other at any given time. Oh, yes, we also... That's fair. Everything's a skill issue. That's not like we're married or anything. So what we're saying is, on a first date, Jessica would have jumped his bones. That's what I'm gathering from this. Maybe not George specifically, but the guy she was dating. And maybe not necessarily first date, but aquarium date out of town? I got sick of reading it. Oh, that hurts. Like, at that point, why not just quit? If you don't like something, it's okay to stop. Why speed through, get vague spoilers for everything for everyone, and hit the credits and then quit? Streams because time issues. It's 4 a.m. Oh, jeez. Yeah, please go to bed. Thank you for popping by to say hi. I do also check all YouTube comments, so if you leave a comment there, like, I see all of those too. But also, keep enjoying. Glad you're having a good time with it. Please get some sleep. 4 a.m. is way too late. I would die, even though I used to stream to like 3 a.m. We're going to pretend... Look, if this job ever stops, I still won't go back to that timing because I know it makes other people suffer, but that is still my default. Like, as soon as I get a long weekend, I start to shift to the nighttime. So... These things you seem to be expecting. Should only be done after making a vow before God. Again, to each their own, but like, false? You just can. If you have someone you like, and you're two consenting adults, you just can. You just have a good time. You know, whatever. And... Shannon's face got bright red. I'm pretty sure it was Pachi who retweeted art of... I forget her name from the new Deltarune chapter. Well, yeah, I guess they're not adults here. I want to say Azure, but the blue chick from Deltarune having communicating with fucking what's her name? Already forgot. Sitting here just misremembering. Maria. Yeah. There's both of them just oohing at each other. And it was very good. XQC. Yeah, I've heard the name. I also don't know why the art's cut off there. I've heard the name XQC, but it's not somebody I've watched. Yeah, something is up with the game today, and I didn't do anything weird, I swear. I just started the game. The same way I always do. I guess I didn't have the bots running beforehand, but whatever. Shannon's face got bright red. If it gets to the point where it interrupts the game in any way, I'll save, exit, and come back. But if it's just random little cutout bits, we'll live. She made a circle with both hands, restlessly intertwining, separating, and making heart marks with them. What? Apparently the dramatic progress Jessica had looked forward to hadn't happened. To be fair, I really think Jessica's just rooting for them. You know, it's fine. Feel like completely different universes. Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to hop by somebody's stream at this rate, it's going to be somebody like, it's going to be Peko, it's going to be Jude. If Coco comes back, I'd hop by there. I hop by Shayfire occasionally, but like, I'm usually not going out looking for more streamers. But that's because my stream-related time is me streaming, usually. That's just how I do. But there is, yeah, infinite difference between somebody streaming Umineko to 5 or 6 people and somebody's trying to stream Umineko to 100,000 people. Because to be the type of person who even has that many followers, or live viewers, you are probably not the type of person who's going to be reading visual novels. Or enjoying them, at least. Yeah. Because time. Yeah, no, I get that. Well, it's like half the VODs like about. Yeah, time will do that. RPG addiction? I definitely don't. RPG and visual novel? Definitely not. Apparently dramatic... but it seems to have been a very important experience for Shannon in her own way. In the end, whether Jessica was jealous of Shannon or made fun of her, it didn't change the fact that Shannon had a huge lead on her. Also, yeah. I want a boyfriend too! Can't believe you got ahead of me! Even though we promised that we'd find boyfriends at the same time, you beat me! That's such a easy promise to keep. Totally. Let's make sure that we both find guys we're attracted to and start dating them at the same time, and then also make the same level of progress in intimacy in that relationship at the same time. Yeah, you couldn't coordinate that. I get that she's frustrated, though. I get the, I'm happy for you, but I'm gonna go scream into a pillow real quick. 1 second. You're a wonderful person, lady, so I'm sure you'll find someone wonderful much quicker than me. Don't try to console me. Shannon, you traitor! Get out! Shut up! Traitor. I feel like that's the type of thing you only ever see in, like a movie, a rom-com. I can't possibly date anyone until my friend dates somebody, and it's always like them trying to set up the friends so that they can date the main person, and then they either fall in love with the friend or like something. You know, it's definitely one of those things that only really happens in fiction. But Jessica threw several cushions at her. But midway, she had an asthma attack and started to choke pretty badly. Shannon hurriedly ran over to a nearby side table and started searching around on top of it. A cute basket was placed there, and inside of it was Jessica's bronchodilator. Shannon picked it up and handed it over to Jessica. I know that is the correct term for it, but I have never ever heard somebody refer to it as anything but an inhaler. In all of my life, I have never heard of that device described as anything but an inhaler. I am aware that bronchodilator is accurate. It is what it does. It is an accurate description of that device with that medication. I've never heard a human being call it that. Jessica's asthma attacks always came suddenly. Because of that, she always needed to carry this medicine around. She breathed in the medicine and, after a while, managed to overcome her choking as her asthma finally settled down. The weird quirks in localization. Again, they're in no way wrong. It's just never heard it called that. But maybe they don't have a common slang term for it in Japan, and maybe the accurate way to translate it was bronchodilator. And also, I don't care. Both are correct. It just, that's why it throws me off a little bit. Gotcha. So they were only translating it accurately, but it still throws me off slightly, because, gluing kanji together. Fair. Makes it a bit easier. Shannon thought this a good chance to leave and tried to exit the room after bowing courteously. As she did, one more small cushion came flying and hit Shannon on the head. She noticed that Jessica was on the verge of crying, half of her face buried in her last and favorite cushion. That face was red and meek. Milady. See, if this was a different style of visual novel, there'd be a scene I couldn't stream right here. Just saying. Just saying, if this was a slightly different type of visual novel, this is where that would go. Right here. Right here, by the way? Right here. Shannon, be honest with me. Is my hairdo and stuff weird? What are you saying? I think your hair is very beautiful. Then are my eyes strange? Or maybe my nose? Oh, also, I don't know if it'll be on camera. Let me see if it is. Hold on. Ah, I've got the aetheryte crystal up there. You can only really see the glow of it, but it has a base. It has the ring around it. But I got the remote for it here. Yeah. It's got different settings, but I'm going to turn it off for now because it has finite batteries, but there will be good times for it. I just wasn't sure if it was on camera. Oh, it's so cool. I didn't know Calico even had any like semi-transparent filament. 3D printed the whole thing and then painted the base with like a gold copper, but like looks great, works great, stuffed a whole bunch of LEDs inside. Awesome. And we used the extra LEDs to light places around when the power went out. So I know about how long those batteries last too. Then are my eyes strange, or maybe my nose, or is it the way I talk after all? Is that why I can't get a boyfriend? Of course not. Lady, you are wonderful enough as you are. And I think your charm will keep on increasing more and more from now on. Look, that's easy to say with Shannon's, say bountiful charms? Overflowing charms? You know. I'm the only one who can't find a boyfriend. Saku and Hina managed to get boyfriends, but only I can't. The age of characters in the bios? I don't remember. But it's under system. I don't think it does just cut off half of it. What is going on? The last tool is Fisher. Good luck. Is it because I don't have any charm after all? You know, everyone says they'll bring their boyfriends to the cultural festival. And I was so sure I'd have a boyfriend before then, so I started bragging. There's no way I'll get a boyfriend. I'm the only one. Before she realized it, Jessica was shedding huge tears. Jessica didn't really feel like crying, and of course she felt like supporting Shannon's progress and love as a friend. However, as she had cheered Shannon on, her true feelings had suddenly gotten mixed in, and she couldn't help but shed tears. Shannon's 16. Okay. Excuse me. Shannon understood Jessica's innocent and easily injured heart. The rough style of speech Jessica usually used was all just an attempt to protect that fragile heart. Not using fishing much. Yeah, fair. If you don't fish, what use is a fishing rod? That's really good. As a daughter and successor to the Ushiromiya family, and as a girl isolated on Rokinjima, the only person she could expose her true feelings to was Shannon. Shannon understood that, so she strongly regretted acting smug, even if it was only a little. Sorry. It's so weird crying like this. Sorry. You are a wonderful person, milady. There's no way you won't find a wonderful man. You will probably have to look outside of this island, however. Because even if we ignore the, incest side of things, even if we ignore that, your family's quirky. A lot of them suck. Jessica and Bentley are both 18. Okay. Shannon, it's about time, right? If you don't go quickly, Genji-san and Mom will get mad. I'm just fine, so hurry up. Sorry for crying like this. Such a moron. Yeah, also true, you kind of don't want to introduce them to your family, because I assure you, they wouldn't approve. I can just tell you. I can say with certainty they would not approve. Unless you happen to bring some, billionaire savant. But yeah. Yes, correct. They don't care about him as a person. They care about how much money can he bring them. And nothing else. Jessica faced away, acting as though she didn't really want to trouble Shannon. Waving her hand as though chasing Shannon away. Shannon took that as a sign that Jessica didn't want to be bothered anymore. Bowed her head and left the room. When Shannon's footsteps disappeared into the distance, Jessica lay down on her bed, still hugging a cushion. Her expression was still a little meek, with tears in her eyes, but, for the first time in a long time, she had a very, very quiet and honest conversation with her heart. I also want to fall in love. And then it was daytime. And she woke up next to a random boy. This turns into a "I've wished a boy into my bed" story, obviously. As Shannon happily watered the flower beds in the garden, she sensed someone's presence. She turned around, thinking that if one of the family had come to visit, she must greet them. What she saw was that witch. Beatrice-sama. Be a husband-to-be. Yeah, correct. I probably wouldn't even be a husband-to-be. It would be a big wallet. Probably not even a big wallet. It would be a child of big... Oh, you can see through... I'm going to restart this game real quick, because her outline is missing, and you can see the flower bed behind her. So we're gonna save real quick, and I'm going to restart it and see if that changes anything. Because it's still playable, but it's getting to the point of distraction. So I'm going to see if real quick we can't fix that. Oh, that's just exit menu. Why don't I just close it? Alright, try one more time. It's weird, and again, it was playable. Like, if it stays that way, such is life. It didn't stop anything. But I'm hoping this fixes it. I'm not restarting the computer, so like I don't care that much. Even if that... No, it's still that way. Alright, so I might have to restart the computer, but I'm not doing that right now. It's fine. Because then I'd have to stop the whole stream. Like, it's fine. It's noticeable. Life goes on. It's been quite some time. How are you? Has your relationship with the one you love progressed since last we met? It is very weird, though. As Beatrice sat in the rose arch, she happily blew on her pipe. Like, I'm trying to think... Like, nothing changed about this computer since... Like, I haven't... There's been no updates. There's been no... I haven't done anything weird. Thankfully, it's minor. As long as it's not, like, obstructing text or blocking the screen, I don't care. Check the integrity of the game files. Good call. If the restart doesn't fix it, I'll do that. But again, this will be after stream. As Beatrice sat on the rose arch, she happily blew on her pipe. Sitting in a place like that would crush the roses. And it might have been dangerous if the arch fell over, but this was a witch after all. What is she blowing on her pipe? Oh, I restart the computer every night. Well, I shut down the computer every night. I don't do technically restart, but like I always shut it down. Showing concern for her safety was probably a waste of time. Apparently this is a recent glitch. All the reports are from this week. Might be on Steam's end? Okay. That's weird as hell. Because the game didn't get an update or anything. Or an NVIDIA update? Yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad it's not just me. And unless somebody on those threads has a immediate solution, then I'm just going to keep going and be like, that's weird. That I hope it gets fixed really soon, because that would date this exact VOD perfectly. It would just have it in that little magical period of time where there was the bug. No solution found, they even did a full reinstall. Okay, then I am not going to lose sleep over it, and before I get to stream again in 2 weeks, I'll check again and be like, hey, I wonder if there was a fix or not. Yes, thanks to you, it's going smoothly. Naturally, the effects of my magic are immediate. Perhaps you feel your meeting was predetermined fate. However, that is a mistake. Don't even think fate has anything to do with it. I understand then. The witch was calling attention to something. 2 things, actually. First, that Shannon's relationship with George was a fate that would be absolutely impossible under normal circumstances. Second, that the power of the witch was great enough to overturn that fact. Shannon had just gotten wrapped up in those sweet days and had started believing the illusion that all fate revolved around her. But she remembered the witch's words. Originally, her relationship with George had been impossible. No, it might be impossible in the future as well. I'm sorry, please forgive me. It's just like doctors. You cling to them when you're worried about your health, but after you're healed, you forget even to thank them. I've never been thanked as a witch, so I couldn't help acting a little rudely. Forgive me. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's noticeable, but it's not obstructing playing it. The gratitude I feel has never slipped my mind. It's thanks to your power that I was able to achieve happiness, Beatrice-sama. And without that power, the fate that brought me and George-sama together would never have happened. I've never forgotten that. Sorry. It's not like I came here to bully you. Much. Being rude is just part of my personality. What thought? Do forgive me. More importantly, I heard. So you went on a trip alone with him? I imagine it must have been quite fun. Yes, it was very, fun. Shannon's face suddenly lit up. The witch laughed lightly, as though amused by the speed of that transformation. Already, the one you care for is more than the object of one-sided love. You are a pair of lovers now. When two people are filled with love, nothing else is needed to establish a complete world. Perhaps you could call that a wonderful, ideal world. Even witches would be jealous. Beatrice laughed pleasantly. That smile made her look as though she blessed the lovers' rendezvous from the bottom of her heart, without a trace of malice. After that day, Beatrice had shown herself before Shannon every once in a while. Even now, Shannon thought of her as an unsettling being. However, she was also indebted to this person for the magic that led to her current relationship with George. So Shannon tried with all her might not to act surprised or scared. That's right. Beatrice-sama? I bought some sweets as a souvenir from our trip. Would you like to try some too? Oh? A souvenir for a witch? It seemed that even a witch who boasted of living for 1,000 years hadn't imagined that she'd received a souvenir from a sweet lover's trip. When she saw that surprised expression, Shannon thought of this witch as a friend for the first time. Oh, an Eastern cookie made from wheat flour and lard. To wrap that in Western chocolate is truly a blending of the Japanese and Western styles, the Silk Road of sweets. Definitely a friend to the end. I'm sure Beatrice would never do anything to anyone that was unfriendly, ever. What? What's so funny? Nothing. My apologies. This witch, who surely held a terrifying power, was chomping down on sweets one after another, making a sound like a squirrel stuffing walnuts into its mouth. After a while, Shannon couldn't conceal her laughter. A good meal. I should serve you some dulce vita from Nero one of these days. Roses are the symbol of eternal love. Did the piano ever leave? I believe a rose dulce would be appropriate for you now. The witch was in a great mood, fully enjoying modern candy. Here. I truly am grateful. I believe you've done more than enough for me already, so I'm returning this. The thing Shannon had softly set on the table was a gold-colored butterfly brooch. There's no need to return it. If you continue holding that, our relationship should remain firm in perpetuity. Maybe it was the power of magic that brought us together, but I think only the two of us working together can turn that into something that lasts forever. Love and roses are the same. Too much fertilizer causes the roots to rot. Some flowers cannot be raised without hard work. In that case, do as you wish. You may wear it or keep it in a box. That is my goodwill given to you. Having you return it to me won't please me at all. My apologies. That's not what I... No harm has been done. That brooch is already yours. If you treasure that proof of our friendship, it would indeed bring me some comfort. May you hold on to it and gain its benefits. Or you may keep it in a box. If you wish, you may even give it to another who is worrying about love. Or you could simply treasure it. Of course, it would pain my heart if you wasted it. According to Beatrice, she had appeared several times in the past in response to a person summoned. Give them some tool imbued with magical power. However, when most people used that power to resolve their worries, they quickly grew unsettled by it, forgot their former gratitude, and threw away the tools they had been given with disgust. So it is quite rare for me to be thanked for my goodwill. In fact, this might even be the first time. It's a lot of cackles. The witch laughed heartily, but it looked like a sad laugh in Shannon's eyes. She herself had been like that in the past. No, maybe she was still like that now. Beatrice was definitely a witch with a strange and terrifying power. Most people probably wouldn't want to stick around her if they could help it. A lot of cackles out of her. True, but it's funny that like you have one audible laugh and 4 cackles in text. Surely, even those who had relied on that strange power sometimes felt fear rather than gratitude as a result. It must have deeply hurt the witch to have that happen over and over. Since the time she had started thinking that way, Shannon had tried to stop being frightened of Beatrice. Yeah, I still haven't uploaded any of the VODs from Chapter 2, but when I do, I'm adding the pipe to the snake. I've already got the pipe thanks to Ramen. I just haven't actually made the thumbnail and uploaded them. This was surely something that had tormented the witch for over 1,000 years. Maybe she really liked those sweets. Beatrice, who normally spoke abusively, praised the black tea that Shannon served her and looked to be in remarkably high spirits. After doing that for a while, the witch and the servant grew animated in their discussion of the trip with George. It plays out 1-to-1 like it did with Jessica. She throws herself on the bed, starts just crying and slamming her arms down, complaining about not having a boyfriend and how all her other witch friends have boyfriends, and she promised to bring a boyfriend to the witch social, and now she's gonna be a liar. The things Shannon actually knew about Beatrice was surprisingly few. First off, she was a ghost-like being who appeared in unexpected places at unexpected times.
Oh, no!
And it seems that not everyone could perceive that she was there. I mean, it probably isn't helpful that she kind of leads with very strong kiss my feet energy with Battler, so I can only imagine that's how she leads with everyone. And look, eventually you'll find someone like Battler that matches your freak. So, like, I'm not saying don't lead with that energy. I'm just saying you're reducing your potential pool of suitors to narrowly find the one person who's like, feet? Don't mind if I do. And you clearly have with Battler, but it does mean you will have less opportunities along the way. She filters fast. Yeah, exactly. Look, she just doesn't want to waste her time. She's only been alive like 1,000 years. You gotta step it up. True, maybe it's Battler that brings it out of her. I don't know. Apparently everyone has something called a wavelength, and the ability to perceive witches varies greatly among different people. Only Shannon and Cannon could interact with her enough to exchange words like this. There were a few people who could sense her presence, but most people couldn't even feel that much. From what Beatrice said, Kraus and his wife in particular had zero magical talent, and no matter how much she followed them around, they would never notice her. Once earlier, when Shannon messed up and Natsui got really mad at her, Beatrice had started playing around, hitting Natsui on the head with her pipe. I see. Natsui really doesn't notice a thing. I wonder if... There's no way they'd mention it. I should know this better. Where am I looking? There's no way they'd say it. I do wonder if maybe getting beaten upon the head by a ghost witch pipe might cause migraines. You know, the type of pain in the head that you wouldn't, you know, Be like, I mean, the stress ain't helping. It's definitely not exclusively the pipe. But I still wonder. But Shannon, watching that, had burst out laughing without thinking and had gotten scolded even more. Yeah, that sounds about right. But, like, how funny would it be if it actually added, like, migraines are sometimes caused by Beatrice beating over the head with the pipe? Then what about the master? I hear he's been doing research in magic, so I'm sure he'll be able to notice you, Beatrice-sama. Kinzo is the same. He also has a pitiful lack of magical talent. It's the blood. He has so little talent that I pity him. Man. Imagine being a simp of his magnitude, but being literally unable to see, sense, or interact with the person you simp that hard for. I can see why he maybe just locks himself away and does nothing but scream her name. As soon as I started talking about Kinzo, it felt like the atmosphere around Beatrice changed. She pities him, yeah. She had spoken about Kraus and the rest's lack of magical talent as though she looked down on them, but she spoke of Kinzo in a different way. Anyone connected to the Ushiromiya family would know about Kinzo's legend of the gold. According to that, Kinzo was given the gold after summoning the witch Beatrice. In other words, she must have had some kind of relationship with Kinzo. It was because he succeeded despite having not even a scrap of talent. He kept studying by himself like mad and managed to become a magician. Having gone through fate, I feel like magician hits slightly different. Slightly different. And that's something really incredible, right? Indeed. The witch, who usually looked down on people, was uncharacteristically offering her praise. While she lambasted him by saying he had no talent, she praised his efforts. And then the master summoned Beatrice-sama with the power of magic. Indeed. Well, I only answered the summons on a whim. After all, in this period where magic has long been denied, here was a man who was without a scrap of talent, yet so desperate to succeed. I thought I'd drop by and poke some fun at him, and that's when my luck ran out. Her choice of words highlighted how much of a disaster this had been for her. Yeah, like, what happened? Showed up to the summons, I guess was forced to give gold or something? I don't know. I assume we'll find out. Shannon hesitated over whether it would be safe to continue this discussion, but Beatrice continued on her own, ignoring Shannon. Okay. After all, his contract did have a proper format and set of rules. Various procedures were mixed up, but, well, in deference to his enthusiasm, I graciously accepted his contract. Then I gave him a mountain of gold, as you do. And then the master used that gold and succeeded in business, and grew his wealth into what it is today. Indeed, his talent in magic was minimal, but it seems he had a knack for business and gambling. It's a shame none of his offspring seem to have inherited that, like, at all. Considering all of them are just trying to ask him for more money because all of their projects have not succeeded, at least not to the level that they were hoping. Yeah. Or perhaps it was due to the bravery and madness that led him to risk everything on unreasonable bets. Madness sometimes acts as magical power. I feel like fate also backs that up, yeah. I see. If you look at it that way, perhaps it isn't quite fair to say he was completely lacking in magical talent. He had an excess of madness. Shannon felt like she was daydreaming. While everyone in the Ushiromiya family knew the story of how Kinzo idolized black magic, summoned a witch and received the gold, in actuality it was all rambling that no one believed in. And now Shannon was having the story confirmed by the witch herself. She felt a little flustered by this incredible secret that only she knew. Once Kinzo gained his vast fortune, he could realize every dream that can be satisfied by objects obtainable in the human world. And in the end, he searched for the truth of this world. The truth of this world? The truth of this world is apparently sitting in your room, screaming Beatrice's name at the top of your lungs whenever, and just hitting the absinthe constantly, just down in absinthe all the time. That's the truth of the world. The single element that makes up the world. Absinthe. Kinzo had gained everything. Everything one can obtain in the human world. Search for that, the final desire humans seek. A single element. She seemed to remember the witch using that word before. When Beatrice saw Shannon trying to remember what that was, she laughed bitterly, waving her hand and saying there was no need to worry. I underestimated Kinzo just a tad. I truly didn't expect him to display such power. Especially 42, always. And thanks to that, I'm in this state. I've been sewn in place on this island for several decades now, without even a friend to drink tea with. No matter whom I try to talk to, my voice doesn't reach them, and no matter where I go, I cannot do anything. Such boring decades. As she laughed in self-derision, she tapped her teacup with her finger. It made the light sound of pottery. Shannon didn't know whether the word self-derision was really an accurate expression to describe the look on the witch's face. Excuse me. Shannon didn't understand everything, but she could more or less figure out the situation. And it was probably a topic that she couldn't press the witch on easily. Not unless the witch started talking about it herself. To sum up everything she had said up until now, Beatrice, who had been summoned by Kinzo's magic, could not leave this island for some reason. And she had lost her power and her form, living her days in boredom. During that time, her words had reached Shannon, who never forgot to show sincere respect for the witch. And Shannon had helped the witch regain her power, if only a little bit. As a result, it was now possible for the witch to drink tea with Shannon like this. Well, Beatrice gets to enjoy tea with someone, Shannon gets to go on aquarium dates with the guy she likes. Sounds like a win to me. Beatrice-sama, what in the world was that mirror you told me to break? That. Long ago, it seems various things happened on the island around this area. Because of that, malignant forces gathered here and began to draw in evil distortion. It seems a traveling Eastern magician, or something, built a shrine for the repose of souls that sealed them in there. Shrine for the repose of souls and sealed them in there. That in itself had nothing to do with me, but unfortunately that magical power rested on a different foundation than mine. Competing wavelengths, yes, obviously. It created a strong interference with my magic and was extremely bothersome. Is that how it was? And I just assumed it existed only to seal you, Beatrice-sama. I was not its target, but it was a divine mirror. As a result, my power was sealed away. To use food as an example, maybe it would go something like this. Let's say the Western food I ordered is being made in the kitchen. However, when they try to set the table, the area for the guest seating is in the Japanese style, with Japanese-style dishes. So the kitchen is unable to serve a plate that would be out of place. No matter how long I wait, my Western food won't arrive. Something like that. I don't think that's how food works. Like, I get the concept of the incompatible. Like, I get that. But I don't know if that's the... I think you just put it on... I think you just serve it. I think you're okay. But it's whatever. Okay, it's fine. I've also never dined in Japan, and maybe it is totally different. I don't think so. But, so you destroy that Japanese-style guest seating and return the area to a blank slate for a time. Thanks to that, the meal I had ordered was finally delivered, and my power came back, you could say. However, so far, only the aperitif had arrived. I would still be quite some time before the main dish. As I am now, I'm even more fragile than a shoe store fairy. Do shoe stores normally have fairies? Hmm? Translator thing? Don't know. Maybe. What's so amusing? Nothing. Just thought your metaphor was pretty funny. I never would have thought to use a story about food as a metaphor for magic. I thought it a rather skillful comparison, but I certainly didn't expect it to be laughed at. I'm a bit offended. A slightly sulky expression rose to the witch's face. It wasn't a strange expression at all to be appearing on the face of some friends as they enjoyed their tea. Although I may not look it, I was known for doing extremely brutal things in the past. I've gotten soft. Now I can even have a foolish discussion while drinking tea with a human. She was probably talking to herself. As Beatrice gazed at the seabirds tracing the horizon, she put her tea to her lips again. The clouds have come out. When the ocean loses its brilliance, it's nothing more than a gray puddle. You think so? I think the ocean is a beautiful deep blue even when it gets cloudy. Maybe the witch noticed the deep meaning behind Shannon's words. She laughed lightly and set down her empty teacup. Seems those things buried in your eyes aren't black pebbles anymore. How is it? Do you see how it feels for furniture to be reborn as a human? Yes. Never knew the world was this kind. Since the start of her relationship with George, Shannon's face had grown brighter more often. Her smile had made everything go smoothly, and it even changed her fortune. Shannon made less mistakes in her work than she had before, and the family members' opinion of her was slowly starting to change. George's, for sure. Just the other day, she had been surprised when Krauss, who rarely exchanged words with her, had suddenly started talking to her. You've been wearing a splendid smile more often lately, haven't you? Has something good happened? No. But every day is fun, yes. Wonderful. Goes without saying that coffee is more delicious when poured with a smile. Could I ask for that smile once more? Yes, sir. That had become a chance for Shannon to gain confidence in herself. Of course, it didn't go beyond her own heart, and it wasn't so big a change that anyone would notice. But she had begun to change, bit by bit. Shannon understood it clearly. Knowing love was the same as gaining a soul. The same as being reborn from furniture into a human. There was absolutely nothing mistaken in Beatrice's words. By knowing love, Shannon had learned what it was to be human. These have been unusual snacks. It was time well spent. It's probably about time for you to return to your work. So let us end our tea party now. After all, it seems a certain person doesn't like seeing us drink tea together. Huh? The witch gripped a teaspoon and flipped it with her fingers, sending it up in the air. After that, it was launched by the fingers of some invisible person and flew straight into a nearby bush. The bush shook violently and Cannon came out. Seemed he had been there for some time, watching their tea party. The spoon was gripped in his hand. If he hadn't caught it in an instant, it might have hit him hard in the forehead and caused him to start oozing blood. Do not worry. Our tea party is over now, Cannon. How long were you there? If you had called to us, I'd have poured you some tea too. Imagine that you didn't want to interrupt a pair of women talking, right? Cannon kept silent, but there seemed to be a slightly hostile look in his eyes. On the outside, he acted with respect. But unlike Shannon, Cannon did not trust the witch. When Beatrice hit the table with her pipe, the tea set turned into gold butterflies, which flew upwards all at once. They then scattered in every direction, and the cleanup was already done. That was fun, Shannon. Let us meet again, if the chance arises. My magical power is still quite lacking. It's tiring even to show myself. If you're that tired, never appear again. Sounds like Cannon is gonna have a bad... Like, the one thing we've learned most about Beatrice, other than wanting Battler to lick her toes, is that she clearly values people who show, like, reverence and respect towards her. And he ain't doing that. Battler has the excuse of cannot see her whatsoever. Can't detect her. Truly, literally opposing wavelengths. Cannon clearly can. And it's just spitting in her face. Battler does it because he's like, y'all are shitting me. Like, there's nothing, if I can't see it, it's not there. Cannon can see it, and still is like, no, you suck, I hate you. Cannon had said it in a small voice, but the witch seemed to have heard it perfectly. She giggled, but did not reply. Shannon. Tell me more about George at our next tea party. There are no snacks sweeter than a person's love life. That's what Jessica was trying to say. Yeah, Battler just doesn't believe. And Canon is like, no, I know you're real. I hate you. You suck. See you again. Beatrice's body also became gold butterflies, which scattered in all directions and disappeared. It was a fantastical and beautiful scene, like a blizzard of gold leaf. For a while, Shannon quietly watched the witch's exit. Canon approached her from behind and spoke with an expression that was drastically different from hers.
Nesan,
didn't I tell you to stay away from her? Beatrice-sama isn't that bad of a person. Yeah, she might be a little shady, but the fact that only we can see her is suspicious enough. That thing isn't human. Who knows what she might be planning? Well, clearly she's planning on having me continue to be with George, so, seems like our plans are on the same wavelength here. You're the only one who doesn't want to be with George. Sounds like you're the one missing out here. Maybe if you respected her, you could also be with George. Canon-kun, I think that's a little rude. There was a touch of sternness in Shannon's voice, which was unusual for her. The Canon, who knew her well, she must have sounded extremely stern. Canon looked excessively surprised, considering Shannon's tone. Fell silent. It's true that Beatrice-sama is different from humans. She has a terrifying power, so I think it's right for us to fear and respect her. Still, I think it's incredibly rude to despise her just because she isn't human. I understand what you're trying to say, Nesan. You've changed ever since she gave you that brooch. It's like you're her prisoner. Everyone else sees Shannon change and goes, wow, you look so much happier. That's great. I'm so happy things are going good for you. Could you pour my tea with that smile? And Cannon's like, you're a prisoner. She's got you under her control. You have to break free. She brought you and George-sama together, and now you're indebted to her. Don't say things like that. Technically, there's no debt. It was a trade. She broke the mirror, so she got the love. Wow, you're smiling and doing great. Yeah. Well, look, considering what we know of Canon, I'm not surprised that they think that way. That thing isn't human. We don't know what she's thinking. So you mustn't trust her. And we aren't humans either. Nesan. Canon's words grew more serious. Those words probably gouged at Shannon's heart. She bit her lower lip and hung her head. We are furniture. Even if we receive names and are treated as humans, that won't change the manner of our birth. We are no longer furniture. Those words Beatrice had given her, which had made her happiest, floated through Shannon's mind. Yeah, no. I am not furniture. No, you are furniture. We are less than human. Nesan, you're just pretending to have forgotten, pretending to be human. You know that as well as I do. I am not furniture. I'm human. No, you aren't. We have never possessed what it takes to love or be loved. Cannon's criticism seemed to have shifted away from Shannon's meeting with the witch. Shannon picked up on that quickly. I heard from Lady. Seriously, what were you thinking? I can't believe you'd go on a trip with George-sama. You've forgotten your place as furniture. You've just been tempted by that witch, mistakenly believing that you've become human. Listen, Canon-kun, it's true that we're furniture, lesser beings inferior to humans. But if it were possible to make up for what we lack, wouldn't that be the same as becoming human? Such a thing could never happen. No, it could. If we can do that, we won't be furniture anymore. We can become human. Ridiculous. As if you could ever do such a thing. Canon spat those words out, but did so weakly and turned away. He was probably giving up. After all, the suffering he'd undergone during those days he had lived as furniture, his heart was firmly sealed. You can do it too, Canon-kun. You can become a normal human. Stop it. That's the witch talking. Yes. Beatrice-sama taught me. By obtaining the single element of this world, we can become human. Or rather, nobody's human if they don't have that. That's why people spend their entire lives trying to gain that single element. I don't understand what you're saying, Nisan. I don't want to listen to ranting. Then I'll teach it in a way even you can understand. Look, see what I'm pointing at? Boobs? Shannon quietly pointed at the sea towards the horizon. I thought she was going to point at her heart. The fifth element? I was just talking with my brother yesterday about movies. I really do think The Fifth Element might be my favorite movie of all time. There's a ton of other movies I really enjoy, but it does so many things I like and so many things differently from other movies I've seen. I think it might be my favorite all-time movie, but it still can change day to day, week to week, but that's probably the one I come back to enjoying the most. Ken didn't understand what she meant, and couldn't do anything except look between the horizon and Shannon's expression, which seemed to be posing a riddle. The sea. Kennen-kun, what color does the sea look to you? It was an extremely simple question. For a while, Kennen tried to guess at the meaning behind it. But he couldn't think of anything, so he answered obediently. It's a hazy dark gray color. So what? Objectively speaking, the sea laid out beneath a cloudy sky could probably be described best by Kennen's words. But as Shannon closed her eyes and smiled, she shook her head slightly. Looks deep blue to me. Is that what you mean? Like how Japanese people use the word blue to refer to a green traffic light? No. The sea is deep blue. If I understand and you don't, then that's the difference between us. Kennen bit his lower lip and was silent for a while. I don't understand. Kennen-kun, would you stick out your hand? As Kennen was taken aback, unable to understand what she was saying, she took his arm and opened the palm of his hand. Shannon softly set something there. It was that magic brooch, which she should have given to Jessica so that she could go find a boyfriend, and, you know, that would also make this a very different game. That's fine. Say green traffic light, so color is such a weird thing. Like, color and the terminology for color is so area dependent, language dependent, subjectively dependent. Color is weird. And I still only have had a taste of that, but working in a paint store for a few years, color is weird. Color is weird, people's perception of color is weird, and people's color memory is non-existent. If you're like, yeah, I remember the color that thing was, this is the one that's closest to it when you're looking at a wall of colors, you're wrong. You are always wrong, and you should never base your decisions on that color memory. But also, coming in with a cell phone picture of the color you want is also wrong, because different displays display colors differently. There are so many wrong ways to... okay. This is going to be a short tangent, but I don't remember if I mentioned this one before. I probably have. After 10 years, I've probably told every possible story under the sun. But whatever. So I did used to work at a paint store with my dad. Cool. We had some older technology there, but it still just kind of worked. We had this machine, a spectrometer, and you had to calibrate it, but you put a little chip of paint in there, you close it up, you let it run, and it goes, this is the closest color to that out of the catalog. Cool. Awesome. Great. Very useful when somebody has a chip of physical paint and wants to know what color it is. You can always go up to the wall and like find it, but it's nice to just have the thing. Cool. The problem is the amount of time somebody came in with a picture of their wall on their phone, pointed to that machine and said, just use the machine, just do the thing. Like, you don't know. The layers and reasons and ways that you're wrong about that are so many that we just had to say no, and they were just like, why not? It's like, no, okay. It's literally a machine that just like flashed like white light at it and like determined what got reflected back So it wouldn't even work on a phone screen regardless. Even if phone screens were perfectly color accurate, it wouldn't work because it would detect the glass. And maybe it would detect the light underneath, but that still wouldn't be accurate. Like, oh, it was infuriating. And they insisted we try, and it's like, no. I mean, hey, just because it ain't new doesn't mean it don't work. True colors. It's X colored because that blue and red represent a way broader range of colors. Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, it wouldn't. But like, people would look at us like we were insane. It's like, we can't pick the color based off your phone. And like, if they were just repainting, it wouldn't matter. But when somebody needs to like touch up something, or like, I don't know, maybe a ding got knocked on the wall and they needed to like, sand it, patch it, and cover it. Happens to tons of walls. When you need to match the color, a picture will not do it. If you're just trying to repaint it as the same-ish color and a little bit of variance doesn't bother you, cool. Picture can get close enough on the phone, we can make do. And all the same people would never want to bring a swath home. It's like, no, we needed to buy the paint right now. There's no wiggle room. I took a picture. Do it. Color is difficult. Color is a difficult thing that most people don't think about in day-to-day life. There's that magic brooch which she had received from Beatrice. A magic charm shaped like a gold butterfly that could bring love to fruition. This is hers. Yeah, like if you have the different swatches and stuff, cool, that works too. It's a little more time consuming if you don't like have a good starting point, but like you can make it do. But even that's not perfect because, fading because of sunlight, dirtiness because of dirt, like it's never going to be the exact one-to-one color it was when you painted it. So, blue shirt, not green shirt, so you have to say plant-colored shirt. Huh. That is weird. Language, right? Crazy. This is hers. No, this is mine. So think of it as me and treat it with respect. Okay? After being spoken to like that, he couldn't just throw it away. Cannon didn't know what he should do, and he stood there confused for a while, the brooch still in the palm of his hand. Shannon put the palm of her hand on top of Cannon's, and the brooch was warmed by both of their hands. This charm holds true magic power. I'm sure it'll teach you an important emotion, Cannon said. There's nothing to be learned from that person's magic. No, there is something. So wear it. If that's embarrassing, I hear it's okay if you just hide it in your pocket. Ridiculous. As if I'd let the magic of that person lead me astray. I hate everything and I'm happy hating everything. I'm happy being unhappy. Why are you trying to make me happy? Damn you. Even as he said that, Cannon couldn't be cold-hearted towards something Shannon was urging him to take. In the end, Cannon took it and agreed reluctantly, saying he'd prove that he wouldn't surrender to the witch's power. Shannon smiled and nodded back. I'm sure you'll be able to learn something important from it. And I'm sure you can become human. And when you do, I'm sure this ocean will look like a beautiful blue to you as well, Cannon could. Gray is a gray no matter what, how many times you look. Yeah, gray is a gray no matter how many times you look. That's wrong, Cannon-kun. It only looks like that because you have no... Huh? Because of the howling wind, he hadn't been able to catch the main point of what she just said. So Shannon said it once more. The single element of the world. She spoke once more of the world, the world where it existed, where the sea was deep blue. I'm sure you'll be able to see a deep blue ocean too. After all, without love, it cannot be seen. Who is that? Wait, he's not in his room? Who are you and what have you done to the simp? Sorry, I didn't actually read the line. It's Cannon, Master. It was rare for Kinzo to leave his study. Yeah, no kidding! However, the fact that he had didn't mean his noble research had been suspended. He may have left the study because of a change in mood. But that didn't mean the thoughts filling his head were any different from those he had while inside the study. Kanon knew that no matter what the time, speaking to Kinzo when he didn't want to be spoken would always disturb his research. It's cloudy out there. Bet you the sea looks very gray. Will it get worse? Yes. According to the weather report, it could rain at any time. Shall I bring an umbrella? It will not come to that. Leave me alone for a while. If my children ask, say that you do not know where I am. I am busy on a journey through my own thoughts. Certainly. Then, if you would excuse me. Before Kanon finished bowing, Kinzo had already returned to his own world, having forgotten Kanon's presence completely. And once again he began rambling to himself. Amidst those words, the name of that witch popped up many times. No, not from him. Oh, Beatrice, my hand will not reach your smile. What can I do to revive you? What can I do to make you smile at me once more? What is lacking? You, actually. You kinda just have no magic. You kinda just suck. My research, my materials, my catalyst. Or is it magical power, or luck, or an oracle? Oh, Beatrice, what can I do to see your face one more time? Nothing. As Kanon listened to his master's weeping voice with his back turned, he turned around just once. When he did, right behind his isolated old master was the shadow of a person who shouldn't have been there. It was the witch. At once, thinking that the witch must be plotting to do Kinzo some harm, Kanon dashed back to Kinzo and tried to form a shield with his body. But when he saw the expression on the witch's face, the emotion of his vanished. After all, Beatrice's expression was sorrowful? Or maybe pitying. You fool, Kinzo. Can't you see me, even though I am here? Ah, man. Poor, poor Simp. Right behind Kinzo, as he repeated the witch's name over and over, desiring to be reunited with her more than anything else, was the witch herself. And yet Kinzo didn't notice anything. When Beatrice tried to rest her hand on his shoulder, he didn't notice. Why? Why does my hand not reach Beatrice's smile? Is it the age of the moon? The cycle of the comets? The alignment of the planets? No, it's you. Your blood sucks and has no magic in it. So you'll never see her. Maybe, we'll have to see. I kind of like it where it is, but I'm not hard against that in some more. What is lacking? What is? It's useless, Kinzo. Without love, it cannot be seen. Hey, he doesn't love her. He just simps for her. Different. Kanon took the brooch he had received from Shannon out of his pocket. By learning something new, would he become able to glimpse something he couldn't see now? Without love, it cannot be seen. Yeah, apparently without love, it cannot be seen. Yeah. So what you're saying is, all you need is love. He looked at Kinzo's back once more. The witch could no longer be seen there. That's a part of the logo, definitely. It's for sure part of the logo. Yeah, sure, okay. No, I was about to say this is the first time we've been off the island. No, it's not. Okay, the aquarium too. I was going to say it's the first time we've been off the island since arriving at the island. That's also false because of the aquarium. And that tea party, wherever that happened in time, space, continuity, question mark. It's still jarring to see not the island, though. Video drivers? Maybe. I don't think I've updated my drivers since playing last, but I don't know. Maybe I have. Maybe it updated in the background. I don't know. Like, it's so... Yeah, it's fine. Just have AI do everything. It'll work. Ish. It'll do just good enough. Maybe. The biggest fall event for the Ushiramiya family was the family conference in October. Yeah. But to Jessica, there was another major event that came before that. The school cultural festival. Jessica liked school. Yeah, because her family wasn't there. So I get it. To her, it was a place where she could let out the stress she'd built up from the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. Yeah, I get it. Her family's not there. That's what I said. The Steam thing too, got no idea. I don't know. Oh, yeah. It's definitely not getting updated, so... But I'm glad it's not like something I did to my computer. Damn hiccups. It's just happening. So weird. There we go. For today's cultural festival, she'd formed a group with her friends and had announced that they'd perform some light music on a temporary stage. She had prepared and practiced for this over and over until today, always anxiously awaiting this day's arrival. New trial, I saw it worked for one person though. If it's not fixed by the next time and more people have success with it, sure. But right now, it's fine. If it's happening to everyone, I'm not stressing over it. She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Did I read that? Oh. But there was one thing that worried her. I don't know if I read that bit. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Would that person really come? After taking a single deep breath, her heart jumped when all her friends suddenly started speaking in shrill voices. No way! Hina's boyfriend's so awesome! Isn't he? Isn't he? Rin's boyfriend looks really smart! No. Sorry. Rin's boyfriend. Look, he's a protagonist, but I wouldn't put him as the super intelligent kind. Just saying. Rin's really smart. Rin's boyfriend? Is it true that guy is a glasses beast? A what? No way, no way. My husband will be a pretty boy. May not be like this for all girls, but at least at Jessica's school, the cultural festival is basically a boyfriend exhibition. Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special only one. But Jessica was a little famous around the school, and everyone thought it'd be natural for her to have a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had led her to pretend that this was true. She'd somehow managed to keep them fooled until this year, but for various reasons she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival. Jessie, is your boyfriend here? Different color. Different outfit. What? No, looks like he's not here yet. Maybe he's busy with work. So what kind of person is he, Jessie? At least give us a hint. What kind of relationship? What kind of relationship? Awesome. So he's a working man? Will he come in a suit? Of course he'll be wearing glasses, right? You have to have glasses to have a job? I mean, to be fair, I have a job, and I have glasses, so it tracks. Yeah, Ramen, you've got a job, you've got glasses, so I'm seeing it's actually 100%. Yeah, it's the only, yeah. Only have sunglasses? So you only have a summer job. You only work while the sun's up. Hey, he actually doesn't exist, right? If you come clean now, we'll let you join us. Let's cry together through this year's cultural festival. No, he exists, he exists, he exists! I told you, he really exists! This is the laugh that somebody laughs when their boyfriend really exists. Jessica's bitter smile was covered with cold sweat. It started to seem doubtful whether she really had deceived her sharp-witted friends. Okay, then how about making a fake boyfriend and taking him with you? A fake? Who? I can't think of anyone who'd do that. Shannon's ridiculous plan surprised Jessica into hysterics. Even so, it was probably more realistic than the crazy methods running through her head about getting a boyfriend in the big rush before the cultural festival. For example, what about Canon-kun? Canon-kun? No way, no way! Anyway, I'm sure Canon-kun has work on the day of the festival. And I don't want to bother him. Of course, I've already checked the schedule. Canon-kun has that day off. Why are you always so clever when it comes to stuff like this? No, wait! It'd be even worse if he's off. I can't pull him away from a precious day off just for my own vanity. If you don't pull Canon-kun away, he'll always be shut away by himself. So I think it'd be perfect if you could drag him out of his shell. You think so? No, but I'd feel bad for him. Then I guess you're out of options. How about meekly confessing to everyone that you don't have a boyfriend? True, and it'd be terribly embarrassing, but you'd only have to endure it for the short and yet long time before graduation. To a pair of lovers, there's no sweeter honey than the face of a single person with an inferiority complex. Oh, wait! Shannon, I thought you were better than this. Look, she just wants Jessica to have someone for herself to, you know. You aren't really worrying for my sake, are you? You're teasing me, right? Ah yes, the sound of wrestling about. Boing, 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 boing. Jessica wrestled about with Shannon, her eyes teary. But Shannon was unfazed, laughing with her usual smile. Yes, this is to get you back from making fun of me and George-sama all the time. Listening to Shannon's comeback, the likes of which didn't happen even once a year, Jessica hugged her cushion and rolled around on her bed, pretending to faint in agony. She couldn't stand Shannon's smile, which looked so triumphant. But right now, she was the only person Jessica could talk with. She could choke her to death with her cushion later. Is it really so bad, milady? It's a cultural festival, but it's also a chance for you to have fun with Canon-kun. No, that may be true, but... No. Jessica buried her head in her favorite pillow to hide the fact that her face had grown bright red, as she grumpily chewed the fingernail on her thumb. It really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were of about the same age, of the same sex, and friends. They were both right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about love. That's why they could talk freely about these topics to each other. So Jessica had heard a lot about how Shannon and George's love was progressing. And Shannon had heard a lot about what type Jessica liked, what kind of man she might be interested in. Judging by Jessica's reaction, it would probably be rude for us to go into precisely what these things were. However, this story won't get anywhere if we just have Jessica rolling around forever, so let's dive in. Jessica had been thinking about Canon ever since he'd shown up. It was extremely rare for any young man to visit Rokujima, so maybe it was natural for Jessica, a girl in puberty, to develop an interest in Canon. He's literally the only option on the island, but if anyone said that, it would destroy the romantic ideals of a maiden's pure heart and love at first sight. Literally, the only option. Shannon had been with Canon a long time at the orphanage, so she'd known him since before they started working. So Jessica had asked persistently about what his hobbies were, what his favorite food was, what type of girl he liked. His hobbies are being furniture, his favorite food is whatever's being served to him, and the type of girls he likes is he doesn't. Even to Shannon, it was clear that Jessica was infatuated with Canon. Come on, isn't this a good chance to take Canon-kun on a date? Literally the only boy you know. Yeah, that's the surefire way. But Canon-kun might also have someone you like, so... Wouldn't he take it badly if I made him go with me just to show off? People who aren't honest with themselves like you are... What was that word I learned from George-sama? That's right, I think it was... Tsundora. Apparently there'll be all the rage in a decade or so. They might be. Oh, okay. I was about to say, the bot is running. Wow, George and Nissan sure is incredible. Managing to foresee future trends like that. Awesome. No, wait. Are you saying I'm living in the wrong decade? I give up. Sure. Took several days of wasted efforts, but in the end, Jessica agreed to the plan of having Cannon pretend to be her boyfriend. You know, I don't know if this is the type of work outfit the high school girls will expect somebody to show up in. Yes, milady. Did you call me? Jessica regretted calling out at such a bad time. Cannon always looked sullen, but he had some bad days and some better days. Unfortunately, this reaction was the former. No, well... true, no glasses as well, so definitely unemployed. All that confidence and effort she'd built up practicing in front of a mirror all night was wiped out in about 5 seconds. Jessica turned bright red and hung her head. When he saw that, Cannon shined. Jessica thought that he was exasperated with her and her face went pale. I heard from Shannon. This is about having me go with you to the school cultural festival, right, milady? Huh? Nice one, Shannon. I mean... Yeah. That's right, but, do you have any plans that day? I was strictly ordered by Shannon to work specially for you on that day, milady. I've never been to high school, so I don't really understand. But I hear it's a place where girls can be shamed if they don't have a boy with them. That's high school! And I was given special orders to see to it that the daughter of the Ushiromiya family is in no way inferior to the common people. Shannon, I'll beat you to death later. Jessica kept yelling with a strange voice and a broken smile, like a tea kettle filled with boiling water. As Cannon watched this, he sighed again. Cannon wasn't an idiot either. He fully understood what Jessica intended by inviting him. But to be honest, playing along with Jessica's love game seemed like it'd be nothing more than an annoyance to him. However, Shannon had asked him over and over. He was deeply indebted to her, so he couldn't refuse. And that brooch was in his pocket. Could this strange turn of events have been brought about by the magic power residing in this brooch? Ridiculous. Yes, I'm here to make you not look inferior to common people. It's the words every girl wants to hear. But he remembered what Shannon had said to him that day. Could Shannon see something he couldn't? I don't understand Shannon's feelings. We are furniture. As if we could ever become anything more. It was a truly odd exchange between Jessica, who was still rambling on in a strange voice, and Cannon, who sighed deeply. Without love, it cannot be seen. So I've heard. Right in the start, clearly, yeah. Part of me just had forgotten that we're still in the start of this game. We're still in the wee early hours. Jesse, someone's here. Didn't you hear? Huh? Sorry. Who is it? As my friends all gathered together, they were looking this way with hard-to-describe expressions, whispering to each other in small voices that weren't small anymore. My attempt to play dumb felt pretty transparent, even to me. Did I really just say, sorry, who is it? Like I don't know who just showed up? It's useless. It's useless. My mind's going blank. I'm pretty sure. Do you think that a young Tetsuya Nomura read this and was like, had an awakening, like, belts, yes, belts. No way, that's Jesse's boyfriend? He's so cute. Wait, he's real? No way, seriously? Jessica, you traitor. He's incredible. He's younger? I never heard he was younger. Where's Jesse's boyfriend? She's really into little kids. Oh. Hey, aren't you late? I didn't know where the entrance was. I must apologize for my tardiness. Right, that outfit looks really good on you. I'm glad that her aspirations aren't actress, because I feel like that might be something she's not cut out for. Shannon said normal clothes wouldn't do, so we went and bought this the other day. Okay, I'm glad that that's not his standard casual wear, because I kinda thought. That's not true. Shannon, when I get back, I'll promote you to 2 levels. Ah, she approves. Okay. Feels like everyone here is a girl. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, isn't it? Come on, let's not hang around here. Let's go to the stage, okay? Because I'll be up pretty soon. Come on. Jessica seemed just as uncomfortable. It looked like being bathed in everyone's interested gazes was hard on her. When he saw Jessica's appearance, Kanon thought he might have made things difficult for her by coming. I get the feeling I'm getting in the way. Am I being a burden? I told you, no way. Please tell me at any time if I start getting in the way. You know? Yeah, no way. He calls himself Boku. Did they all just pratfall? There's no way you'd get in the way, Kanon-kun. Yeah, she calls her boyfriend Kun. What would you like me to do, milady? No way! She makes him call him milady like a butler? OMG, OMG! No, you can't call me milady today. Is that so? As you wish, Jessica-sama. God, she's trained him to call her Sama. Sorry, Kanon-kun. Could you close your eyes for just 3 seconds? Yeah, a kiss. It's a kiss. She's gonna kiss him. As you wish. Bang. Funk. Bam, bam. Slam. Crash.
He might actually be dead.
By the time Kanon opened his eyes, a horrible tragedy had occurred in the room. Everyone had been driven into the walls, their arms and legs outstretched. Jessica had slipped her brass knuckles back into her pocket before Kanon's eyes opened. Oh. She didn't jokingly hit them. She She brass knuckles punch them. They might actually need help. Anyway, let's go over to the stage. Our turn's coming up soon, so take a seat and wait a bit. Hey, I should make that text bigger. Ice play? Thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to Viperland in the chat. It used to post that in chat. It doesn't anymore. So now I gotta squint at the overlay. Should just make it bigger. Problem solved. Make it bigger, then I can read it easy. But also, hello. How's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Umineko, indeed. Yes. First time going through, making progress, slow and steady. Mid chapter 2, or that's probably not even mid at this rate. In chapter 2. Just got to witness a bunch of high school girls get punched into a wall for squeeing too loudly. You know, yeah. To me, mid is anywhere between the start and the end. Not necessarily half, but you know, the middle, the whole meat and potatoes. So I still say I am midway through, even if it is probably not the best accurate description. Go straight to the end here and you'll see a temporary stage. You'll know where to go. Please wait there. The length of things are to get to the straight to chapter 2. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, this was not stream 1 of chapter 2 at all. But also the length of things is long. She pushed Cannon's back as he seemed to be having trouble moving himself and chased him out. Even if we cut out all of the like tangent stuff, I'm still pretty sure this wouldn't have made stream 1 of it at all. Yeah, brass knuckles should be highly illegal. That is a true thing. She pushed Cannon's back as he seemed to be having trouble moving himself and chased him out. Even though Cannon was confused by Jessica's attitude and her panicky state, which he'd never seen before, he followed her instructions and headed into the direction she had indicated. Yeah, because there's no argument for them. There's no well, you know, it could be used as a tool for this. No, that is meant to punch somebody with unnatural strength and power, focused on a smaller surface area. There is no other use for brass knuckles. Like, I've had people question why I keep a knife on me. And I don't anymore, but I did for the longest time, because when I worked at the paint store and even the grocery store, the amount of boxes I had to open, I just kept a knife on me. It was exclusively a tool. I would never have hurt somebody with a knife. Ever. You can't make that argument for brass knuckles. There is a singular use for those, and it is punching people unfairly. Like, now get it, don't get me wrong, in a cartoon comedic sense, cool, whatever, fine. But I mean, in real life, there's no other use for that. After seeing him off with an awkward smile, Jessica slammed the door shut and yelled loudly. There you go. You saw it, right? You saw that. Are you happy now? Sucks for you. I do like that the way she talks at school is very different from the way that she talks. Not very different. She clearly, you see slightly different aspects of her. See, I am of the mind that unless you know how to use a knife for self-defense, you should not be using a knife for self-defense. Very much of the mind. Like, I know that if I ever tried to use my knife for self-defense, the likelihood of me injuring myself is so high. So high. And I'm not a clumsy person, but I've never used it in that setting. I've only ever used the knife as a tool, open boxes. Like, crying over the bet or the broken ribs. Yes. They're trying to cry over the bet, but the broken ribs makes it come out as an ooh goo 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 goo. I lost the bet. I was sure Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. Yeah, like, yeah, unless it's something you've practiced and trained for, I would never, like, I hope nobody ever comes at me trying to, like, take my money or injure me. But I wouldn't go, I would go for anything before I went for, like, my knife. And also, I don't even keep it on my person anymore anyway, because I work from home, I don't need it. And, like, I literally just keep it here now. And the knife I have now, I love it. I love it, big, stupid, flashy, ornate knife. But it's no longer a pocket knife. It still has, like, the pocket clip. But, like, this is more, this I get. If I was walking around with this, I'd get if somebody was like, questioningly. I'd understand. But as I just think it looks cool and I use it to open boxes and cards here, it's more than fine. I guess, but I feel like if somebody's coming at me to the point where I would want to defend myself, they probably... I don't know if a knife would scare them away. Like, CSGO knife flip with it, yeah. Correct, it's not a normal knife. But I just wanted something that could open things and looked cool. And this checks both those boxes for me. Are you sure that was her boyfriend? I'll bet she's just abusing one of her servants, right? Uh-oh, somebody called it spot on. Jesse's boyfriend's incredible. I like how exactly one of them thought through the ruse perfectly. Shut up! Come on, let's get ready. When Jessica took the breast knuckles out of her pocket again, everyone energetically returned to their task. Cannon went down the corridor Jessica had shown him and ran into a temporary stage set up where the vending machine should have been. It was probably being rented by the hour by some group or club. Why would you put vending machines in front of a blackboard? Why is that where the vending machine should be? The ones singing were student groups, but the crowd was still incredibly excited. Cannon, K-on. Disliking that clatter, he leaned against the wall in the darkness by himself. So this is what they call high school. Sure is noisy. That's what Cannon thought. Then he remembered Jessica just now, acting in a way that he'd never seen before. Honestly, she was in such a high spirits that alcohol might have been involved. No, she's just high off of awkwardness and, you know, a little bit of a crush. It's 99% awkwardness. A little bit of a crush. To him, remaining composed and intellectual at all times was the highest virtue. In that sense, it was very hard for Cannon to get used to the atmosphere of a school cultural festival. He had a responsibility to report everything he saw and heard to the master. So he also had to report about how Jessica had acted without restraint earlier. Are you furniture or are you a narc? Huh? Which is it? Which is it, man? Make up your mind. All I know is my chair wouldn't snitch on me. At the very least, it was not fitting for the daughter of the Ushiromiya headman. The master, Kraus-sama, and especially Natsui-sama will probably be angry. If I am to report in a way that protects Milady, should I blame it on inappropriate school friends? What was all that? So stupid. Cannon thought back on how Jessica had acted earlier and sighed again. Some furniture has stitches. You'll be one of them, Cannon. You can understand Natsui's headache a little now. You don't understand because it's like 80% pipe. Come to think of it, Natsui-sama is the president of the PTA. As the president of the PTA, was supposed to go to an informal gathering after attending the ceremony in the gymnasium. She said she wouldn't be able to see Milady's performance, didn't she? It's probably for the best. Look, this might be the only time that it's actually better that the parents are like, oh, sorry, can't make your thing. Normally that's like a trope. But right now, it might be for the better. Straight up. For Jessica, it might just be the less time around her parents, the better it is. It's really the only thing holding her back. Crowds certainly are unpleasant. Wow, you have a lot of feelings and emotions for somebody who's furniture. You keep being like, oh, I'm furniture, I'm furniture. It really just sounds like you just like being depressed and are unwilling to even attempt to not be. To seek any type of help from any person. If you were really... It reminds me a little bit of Kingdom Hearts, and it's not because of the jacket he's wearing, I swear. But all the Heartless keep going on and on and on and on and on, or the Nobodies go on and on about how they have no emotions, and then every action they take is driven purely by overpowering emotions. Nomura learned a lot. Yeah, Cannon was clearly an awakening moment. What in the world is going on? Several female students keep glancing at me. It seems they're all whispering the same things Milady's school friends said, and it's truly unpleasant. So you refuse to believe the fact that you could ever feel love, but you can feel unpleasant. It's not that furnitures don't have feelings, furnitures don't have positive feelings. I'm sensing that this might be a you problem. Come to think of it, didn't Shannon warn me? If you walk alone at something like a school festival, you'd better watch out because lots of strange people will come and talk to you. Excuse me, are you by yourself? Would be 16 right now. You could be in this school. So what you're saying is it's an insert character. Excuse me, are you by yourself? Just as expected, a group of girls I'd never met started talking to me. Their stare started to make my back tingle. Didn't she tell me some magic words that could chase them off in times like this? She told him to say, "Sorry, I have herpes." Sorry, I'm with someone. Oh, really? I'm sorry. It's true, you can't see Nomura without love. It's factual. Ah, it worked. Instant reaction. Well, that got rid of them, but it hasn't really changed the number of people staring at me. No, it's that kid. That's Jesse's boyfriend. No way! It's that kid? I can't believe it. I was sure he was fake. I do appreciate the sheer number of people that absolutely were like, yeah, you can't lie worth a damn. You definitely don't have a boyfriend. Isn't he cute? So he's younger. Lucky Jesse. There's no way I'll ever come to a place like this again. Ken sighed for about the zillionth time that day. When he did, the lighting changed and the standing audience started cheering. He looked around and realized that there was suddenly a large group of people there. And unlike earlier, they were mostly guys. Girls don't like music, only guys like music. With this huge crowd, he couldn't even see the stage. Fortunately, there was a fallen beer case nearby, so he tried using that as a footstool. When he did, he realized that there was now a group on the stage. Their leader is Milady. She's changed into stage clothes, and she's even holding a guitar. I didn't know she could play. Then again, maybe she can play. I've seen her practicing air guitar before. Look, that's a universal human thing. Air instruments. Maybe not always guitar, but if not guitar, drums. Excuse me. Natsui-sama wouldn't approve of any hobbies outside of study. I believe that, but it's so wrong. Maybe she was always practicing in secret. Come to think of it, she's been returning really late from school recently, hasn't she? Maybe she's been practicing at school, far away from Natsui-sama's prying eyes. It really is for the best that Natsui-sama didn't come. If Milady were to get scolded by Natsui-sama after putting so many hours of practice in, she'd probably be dejected. Hit her with the sama. You know. Everyone, thanks for gathering here today. I could hear Jessica-sama's forceful voice through the speakers. Jessie-sama? Maybe that's her nickname at school. It is now, yeah. It's 100% now. The students in the audience kept calling out that name. I'm a little offended by that crude name. It's inappropriate for Milady. I guess I just forgot to draw the fedora on him, because I can feel it. Jessica-sama was in a high spirits. It's not really. It's just the Miladies. It's really just it. It's not anything else. Jessica-sama was in high spirits as they kept shouting, Jessie-sama. Everyone here was probably a fan. Her mic performance picked up on that and electrified them even more. It was almost like a music program on TV. Yes, this live performed music in front of you is almost like a music program on TV, except live and in front of you. At first he thought this was all silly, but that feeling had changed into appreciation. It reminds me of the post, a guy who's only ever seen the movie Boss Baby, seeing his second movie. Getting big Boss Baby vibes off of this. At first he thought it was silly, but that feeling had changed into appreciation. It was incredible in its own way. Kennen never listened to music of his own free will, but he'd often heard that kind of music the Ushiro family liked. Since it was almost all classical, Kanon had naturally taken a liking to that kind of music. So to Kanon, the song Jessica sang was, how should you say it, extremely colorful. In any case, if Natsui-sama heard it, she'd probably faint. Oh, are we doing this? Oh, I know this song. This might have been requested once or twice. So this song has been song requested many times by Ramen. I just... Oh, it's fine that it's unchanged. It's kind of cool to see the older art style. I know you had requested it. I know roughly what the lyrics of the song are about. And I was just like, where would this ever be in knowing nothing of Umineko? I still was like, where is that gonna here, right here, tonight. I could see why maybe Natsui-sama might not love this specific song. I think it's great, but yeah. But everyone looked like they were having a really good time. Some diehard fans who had even brought pen lights sang along and danced crazily with the same movements, almost as though it had been planned ahead. On the stage, Jessica-sama also sang enthusiastically, dripping with sweat. He couldn't find a single element that was approved for a daughter of the Ushiromiya family. Do you think that maybe, considering how overbearing her parents are, that might be the point? You narc. Yes, Natsuhi might not approve of a diss track about a demon girl having a flat chest. Correct. I think Natsuhi wouldn't even like the concept of her daughter talking about someone else's chest. At all. But it looked like so much fun. Again today, behind me, the sound of footsteps. Oyashiro-sama is stalking me. Curses, disappearances, sacrifices, torture. Oni Kakushi, does that make a good snack? Don't say Marissa. Sure. Real life they only played the song once. Of course, yes. They wouldn't loop it. That's silly. When people ask for an encore, they don't mean the same song. They mean another one of your hits that you didn't play. Not the same song. I must not go along with it, but at any rate, Milady is full of life and looks like she's having a great time. As I watched Milady enjoying herself, I thought, could this be Ushiromiya Jessica's true nature? Don't I know better than anyone that during her life on Rokkenjima she's had no choice but to kill her sense of self? So the time she spends not as Milady's successor to the Ushiromiya family, but as a single girl called Jessica, living life to its fullest, must be very important to her. Worked close to Milady, seeing her in all seasons, and thought I knew everything about her. But that was all limited to one side of her, the Milady of Rokkenjima. We are furniture. We serve on Rokkenjima and end our lives on Rokkenjima. So I've come to think of Rokkenjima itself as our whole world. As though, like in Tolemic theory? I am not familiar with that word at all. The ocean spilled off the end of the world into an abyss. When I look at Milady like this, I can see how horribly narrow that outlook is. I still can't go along with the excitement of the crowd, but I feel like I can see something that cannot be seen on Rokkenjima. Not sure if this is the unseeable thing Shannon was talking about, but the ocean still doesn't look blue to me. Even if he ever gets to the point where he gets it, he understands the ocean looks blue, he wouldn't admit it to her, and I know he wouldn't. He'd still be like, looks gray, baka. I know. Drink water sound bites. Oh, that's awesome. Ben Starr shows up in some of the weirdest places with 120% commitment. Okay, the Earth-centric solar system model. Oh, cool. Okay. I mean, wrong, but cool, I guess. Inaccurate. Not factual. But cool that now I know that. I now have Power World, but I haven't really sat down to play it. Yeah, the more you know. I also got a good chunk of good games for my birthday I gotta sit down and play too. But Guild Wars. But also Endless Ragnarok. So, you know, it's not just Guild Wars. It's also... Wasn't the cultural festival at Jessica's school today? How was the principal doing? He seemed to be in good health. Granting Arc Survival Evolved. See, I feel like Arc is a separate thing. Because it's well known that the devs just hate their player base and only like money. And I feel like that's... I get it. I'm not saying you should change that. And I'm mad that Arc sucks like that. Because on paper, what Arc is, I would love. But I know it's beyond grindy, and that the devs have no respect for their player base. They would choose to, instead of fixing game-breaking bugs, put out another piece of paid content for them. The concept of it, of being one of the earliest, like, craft and survival games, where you get to tame and ride dinosaurs is sick. And then you hit the, like, whatever the future stuff is, which I don't even know anything about other than random screenshots I've seen. Like, on paper, Ark is one of the coolest games. And what I think will end up happening is that, it probably already has, I just don't look into the game at all, but I imagine people will find ways to set up custom servers where the rates of things are less insane, and enjoy the game that way. And probably fix a lot of the bugs, too. 10,000 resource gain, it was still a grind. See, some amount of grind in that type of game makes sense. You do kind of, like, I feel like half the point of those games is working together towards a goal with friends. And when there's a little bit of grind to it, there's a little more of, you know, having to work towards that goal. But if it was still a grind at 1,000 times, that's stupid. That's stupid. Full real day. Yeah. Yeah. Man, there is a version of Ark that exists in a parallel universe that is one of the greatest games of all time. It ain't in this universe, but, like, it's so close. If it was designed for players and not for wallets of the company, that game could have been so good. So good. And it's like, it got so close. The concept and even a lot of the execution, if you ignore bugs and rates, and in the hypothetical version of this game that's great, they'd let you adjust when you played the game how grindy do you want it to be. Do you want to really work hard so that dinosaur takes you a year? Do you want to not work as hard and have that dinosaur faster? Like, well, see, I see what you're saying, Ramen, but it could not happen because the reason No Man's Sky got the No Man's Sky treatment is because the developers cared about No Man's Sky. There's a reason that it's had a decade of support. And even if you want to financially support them further, you cannot. The best you could do is buy a friend their game. If you've been playing for a decade and you're like, they deserve some money, it really does show that, like, the initial No Man's Sky release, we'll say problem, was fundamentally a Sony forced them to rush. They had an incident a little bit before rush that made them lose a lot of progress. Not, we couldn't make this game. It's not that their ambition was bigger than their ability. It was definitely, well, games who can get their money.
It's magic.
Look, not for nothing, No Man's Sky had more pre-orders than I believe any video game up to that point. I truly do, I could be mistaken, but I remember hearing that it was the most, like, pre-ordered game up to that point. Maybe I'm wrong, because GTA probably, again, even at that point. No, GTA 5 wasn't out at that point. So I'm not sure. I absolutely pre-ordered. I was at the midnight release with Calico Dog. We both went to the midnight release at the physical store. I still have my physical copy. I believe right in this store. Oh, I turned it around because I had a reversible box art, but I still have my physical day one copy right here. When I play the game, I have to insert the disc. And it's only been great. I still stand by saying I liked what it was day one, but it has undeniably gotten better. It's just what it was day one was what I wanted it to be, which is an excuse to just go and explore random space things. You still can do that, but you can do infinitely more now. But again, the main difference is a cynical person would say that they did that only to redeem their name because they didn't want to be badmouthed. But I think if that was true, I think they would have stopped 5-6 years ago when they came out with I forget what the version was, but the version that added everything everybody wanted and truly was the step to be like, it's cross-platform, it's cross everything, it has all the internet, it has everything that they could have ever promised at launch. They would have stopped there if they were just doing to redeem their name. Like, yeah, the functional 1.0 update. So I think that argument goes out the window, and I think there's no way you could look at it other than, like, was an apology part of the reason they started doing it? Almost certainly. But, like, clearly they just wanted to see the game become what they knew it could be. I still remember, like, seeing the Steam reviews for the game slowly tick from, like, overwhelmingly negative. I believe now it's either very positive or overwhelmingly positive now. Insane. Insane. But you couldn't do that with Ark because they don't care. And that is what has set No Man's Sky so far apart from most other disastrous launch games that just get fixed later. They care. I would argue that to some degree you could say the same about Cyberpunk. However, they did still charge for their DLC, which I had no problem buying. That DLC was phenomenal. There was a reason I put it on my top 10 last year. That DLC was great. Really good. So you can make it's slightly harder to make the argument for CD Projekt Red, but clearly they also, I would argue that now Cyberpunk is the game Cyberpunk should have been. If Cyberpunk had just simply not come out on prior generation hardware and had bug fixed a little more on PC, I think it would have had a great release. It was really all the bugs. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Tangent over. Man, I wish Ark was better. But I have Power World, and I look forward to messing around with that. I probably will just play solo, and I'll probably just dick around a little bit. But, you know, I saw that their patch notes were literally too big to fit on Steam updates. I was like, damn. Damn. That's impressive. And not for nothing, it does seem like they clearly want to make money too, but they clearly do care about making the game, and it shows. Okay. Yeah, like, I like the concept of it. And I don't really have one of, like, those types of craft games, really. I guess you could argue RuneScape, but I'd argue I play that for different reasons. That's more like an idle game for me. Seem to be in good health. That's right. Diet member Takamiya was also there. He said to give you his regards. Man, okay. One more quick tangent. Quick tangent. So I remember back in high school when I played through Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne for the first time. That was my first Shin Megami Tensei game. Besides being utterly blown away by everything the game had to offer, I was not familiar with the Japanese form of government. So when we hit the diet building in that game, I was like, why are demons and Weight Watchers? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm still enjoying this game. I'm having a good time, but I didn't have the knowledge at that point to know. I've heard mostly good things about Valheim, and my card friends play it, or used to play it, and really liked it, but I guess they got to, like, the end of content at that point. But I know it is either getting, or just had a 1.0. I think it's soon. And I also own Valheim, but I haven't played that either. 1.0 September, okay. Oh, of course it's September. That one doesn't impact me, however. And the fact that they moved Onimusha up is great for me. Love that. Love that a lot. Yeah, it... Max of 10 people think every aspect of the game is balanced around that. Oh, okay. Gotcha. It doesn't scale, like, in any way to player. Interesting. I think that type of game, if you play it solo, should scale to a solo. But this is coming from somebody who hasn't played a lot of those games. The extent of what I've done, I've played like 10 hours of, what is it, Raft? Which I really liked. Maybe it's because you can go fishing in that game. Maybe it's because the main way of getting things is really like reeling in with a fishing role early. But yeah. Division of labor. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's the thing that, like, even fudging the numbers would be harder to adjust down to a single player. Because you're still just one person. Gotcha. So it's not a numbers thing like Ark. It's a you're kind of expected to be doing 5 things at the same. Okay, gotcha. See, it's not 1-to-1 those types of games, but I think the game that I played that I like the most that's in like that general genre, even though it is slightly different, it's I think it's V Rising. I really liked that one because it focuses way more on the combat and the progression of combat abilities, while you also do gather things and make a base and hype up and pimp out your base. I haven't finished that game. I really should one of these days. But V Rising has been my favorite of like that style of game. Maybe it's also because it's done in the style of like the isometric ARPG view. Busy as usual. It appeared so. That person is also very energetic. Oh, and I believe President Emoto also made an appearance. Naturally, the topic of Jessica's cultural festival came up at dinner. School events often became social gatherings for local volunteers. It was the same for the Ushiromiya family, who were celebrities around here. Natsui remembered the names of one VIP after another at that social gathering, telling Kraus the news about them. Wow, imagine going to your only child's cultural festival in high school, presumably for her last cultural festival, because I believe she's graduating, going to college or whatever is after this, and all you have to talk about is all the important like government people you saw there and big business people. You didn't even see, like, again, it's better for Jessica that she didn't see her performance or interact with her at all. That is way better for Jessica. But man, correct, yeah. Like, I get it. It would be bad for Jessica, but like, but we also already know this was how it was going to be. Because if she was the type of parent to actually see her daughter's performance, she wouldn't be this type of parent. She wouldn't be the inherently bad influence on her child's life. Jessica didn't really have any interest in that discussion and rudely slurped her pumpkin soup. Milady, perhaps you ought to take more care with your manners. Yeah, sorry about that. Jessica, how many times must I tell you to watch your language? Yes, ma'am. Imagine... Look, I can't imagine at all the type of home life where it's like everything you do is wrong, is immediately called out, told you're wrong, and you have to do better, but not like the, oh, you broke something, not the, oh, you got caught smoking cigarettes or something. Like, your tone was off, you used the right fork, or used the wrong fork, your pinky wasn't out. I'd go insane. Jessica answered, discouraged. Yeah, imagine having to call your mom ma'am. Yeah. When she saw that, Kraus smiled a little and paused his conversation with Natsui. How was the festival for you, Jessica? Great, his mom didn't show up. Huh? Well, it was okay. I was watching. You did an excellent job. I'm going to call lie on that. I don't think she saw anything. Huh? Well, Jessica's face turned bright red. She probably hadn't imagined that Natsui would actually come to see her on stage. She felt a mix of happiness and embarrassment. Actually, she hadn't really wanted her mother to watch, since she didn't want to be told that her music was inappropriate for the Ushiromiya family. But it certainly didn't make her unhappy to hear the parents say she'd done a good job after watching her try her best. The fact that she said she did a good job means she definitely didn't sing. She definitely didn't actually see that.
ジェシカもな
Jessica
かな
acted with
か
both
落
composure
ち着き
and
と貫禄
dignity.
が出てき
Yeah,
ま
she
した
didn't
ね。
see nothing.
生徒代表にふさわしい
Providing
振る舞い
fitting
でしたね。
behavior for the student's representative. Ah. Oh. Yeah. The smile that had been there until a second ago crumbled like sand. Jessica immediately... Oh, man, even though it would have been bad for her and she would have gotten, like, told off, she was still like, oh, my mom saw. Only to be like, wait, yeah, no, she definitely didn't. Jessica immediately realized that her mom was talking about something different. Jessica was also the school student president. She had no interest in doing something so annoying, but her parents had been pushy, so she'd grudgingly accepted. Unfortunately, she was popular at school, so she won the election easily. Yeah, anybody who thinks school elections are something besides a popularity contest is lying to themselves. So Natsui was praising her for the student council sponsorship ceremony at the beginning of the cultural festival. Actually, she had just carried that out half-heartedly. After that, she immediately met up with her friends and held a stage rehearsal for the rest of the time. That experience of standing above people and bearing responsibility will surely prove useful in the future. Yeah. Love that he just straight up says that he thinks he's above other people. Literally, I'm more important than you, and so you should listen to me. It's my responsibility to lead you correctly, because I'm better than you. Candidates who get caught in a drug bust and be disqualified. Ooh, yeah, that would make it an easy choice, I guess. There's only one choice left. All the other ones got caught doing drugs. The winner wasn't necessarily not doing drugs; they just didn't get caught. That's nuts. Like, there were definitely some people doing some drugs in my high school, which I realized more later on, looking back. But, like, all 4 years, people running for student government, like, damn. There was definitely, that guy at my high school, though, that definitely did way too much drugs and dealt way too much drugs and barely spent any time at the high school because he was usually kicked out. The ongoing rumor, and I don't know if this is true and I don't care, but I think this paints the picture of the person that this is the thing I remember most about them, is that people were like, he's so resistant to like normal drugs, he dips his joints in formaldehyde before smoking them to get high. Which, I don't think you should do that. I don't think anybody does that. I'm rather sure he didn't do that. But that was the type of person that was the thing was said about. That type of thing gets said about. But you rush a little while giving the greeting. Oh my god. Oh, even the thing they're praising her for, it's like, no, you didn't do it perfect. Oh, they're so rich person mean. Like, they mean well for their daughter. In their eyes, this is a good thing that they're doing for a person so that she can lead a better life in her future. From their point of view, that is what's going on here. I would have swam off this island by now. I would have swam away. Oh. Look, that's a great way to catch someone. Yeah. When I was in high school on my senior year, I got a flip Verizon phone. So that was the level of technology in my high school. I graduated in 2005. So we're talking the early aughts. I still had a CD player. iPods were just becoming a thing, and they were very much the rich kids had those. Yeah, so I was fluent in T9 typing at that point. That was also the time that my brother racked up like a $400 texting bill because that was the thing you could do. I'm not saying that everything is great now. We've made some small improvements. The fact that you do not get charged per text once you go over the texting limit is, that's an improvement. That's an improvement. We may not have improved in every way, but that's better. You get a pass on content, but the fast pace of your speech lessened the impact. It might help if you developed a habit of pausing every once in a while. Oh, as long as tangents count as pausing, I'm good. I promise it. Yeah. Not only did you not see the one thing I was actually proud of, you still criticized the thing that I did only for you, and you said I was doing good with. Physical bills for phones? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I get why landlines died out. This past weekend has reminded me why I think we should still occasionally have landlines. Because those worked without power as long as you didn't have a cordless phone. The power could be out totally and the phone would still work. That's the only thing. Because, like, not only did the power go out for us, but the cell tower was down. And I know because I have Mint, but other people who have other services also had no service. That's why, like, I could only update you guys when we took a ride to go see how, like, things were distant. Once we got a few blocks away, or more than a few blocks, I guess we must have hit another tower, and I could get enough signal to be like, hey, power's out. But, like, I couldn't check anything. Even with a charger for my phone, it was useless. It was useless. I couldn't call anyone, I couldn't update anything, I couldn't text anyone. So it's one of the few times where it's like, you know, if I had a landline, it wouldn't help with Discord, but I could at least contact my family, my brother, be like, hey, if you're trying to reach me, you can't. Mind you, that comes up once every handful of years, knock on wood, fingers crossed, at most, but it was one of the few times in recent memory I was like, damn, kind of wish we had a landline. But I kind of get how... I mean, at the same time, well, I have a flashlight, but I don't have a flashlight for that case of emergency. I have a flashlight because I cosplay Alan Wake, and the cheapest durable flashlights I could find came in packs of 2. So one is with the cosplay, and one I just keep around. So, yeah. Payphones wouldn't get a ton of use, but their use would still be enough that I think they should exist. However, I guess the cost of maintenance and whatever means nope. Nope. After she finished eating, Jessica didn't feel like going straight to her room. Her room was basically the place her parents had ordered her to be. So perhaps for Jessica, instead of returning to her own room, being in an unknown location in this large mansion was a meager form of resistance. Really gotta find whatever ways you can. Jessica felt that even being in the mansion made it hard to breathe, so she went outside to the rose garden. Well, even if she did show up, I'm sure she would have said something about how it wasn't appropriate for a successor of the Uchirumiya family. So isn't it better this way? Well, Jessica laughed at what she was sulking over. She laughed at what kind of words she could possibly have been expecting. That was dumb of me. In the end, I was just acting like an entitled brat. I'm a little exasperated with myself, and it makes me want to laugh. Hey, Potts, how's it going? Yeah, see you tomorrow. Oh, time flies. I also have to get a haircut tomorrow, because I'm realizing that's the only day I have before the con to do it, because I've put it off for too long. And it needs to be a slightly shorter for Alan Wake. And if I don't cut it now, I won't cut it till next con season, and it'll be crazy long. So I do have to get it cut. Yeah, we hit the Toho song. That happened. But also, hey, Bots, how's it going? Hopefully, probably pretty good. Hopefully, pretty packed. Yeah, tomorrow gonna be a good time. Tuesday's gonna be great. We going to round 1 Tuesday? I don't think Potts has been. No, you went last time, Potts, right? You went, but you want to go again. Round 1's gonna be great. Wednesday we got friend hangouts. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday con. He's gonna be good. I did just find out, though, Potts, I don't think I'll be able to go with you to drop you off at the return flight, because it happens while I'm working. I didn't realize till today that your in-flight comes in later than expected, and your out-flight leaving Connecticut is earlier than I expected. So, but I will be there tomorrow. For sure, I'll be there tomorrow. Milady. 3rd time. Okay. So, I found out a fun thing, Potts. that I didn't notice when I was there. The Taiko Drum Master game that they have there. Like, not only does it have the Durara opening, not Durara, sorry, Dandadan. It's got the Dandadan opening, it's got Demon Slayer opening, it's got a Cruel Angel's Thesis, but it also has Iris Out. Apparently. Other people went and they looked through the song list better than I did, and apparently Taiko Drum Master, at round 1, has Iris Out. So, Potts, I'm dragging you away from Claw Machines to do a round of Taiko Drum Master. Like, it's not unreasonably early, but it is while I'm working early, unfortunately. I did drag Calico and Afro over to it last time, because they also have Undertale music. Taiko Drum Master's got a lot of crazy stuff. Like, all of the music games there have Undertale music. But Taiko Drum's just got a little extra goodness there. I mean, nothing else there has a Cruel Angel's Thesis at all. So, that already sets it apart for me. Wow, Canon-kun, don't scare me like that. Wow, scared the asthma into her. Just as she was about to force a laugh, Canon suddenly started talking to her and she choked. What's up? Got something to say? Yes? Jessica's expression became the one she always wore when looking at Canon. Oh, also, totally glazed over the giant number. Thank you for 108 crazy heckin' months resubscription. Sorry, got distracted by everything else. But jeez. Yeah, so we just had the school part of the episode where Kaden goes to pretend to be Jessica's boyfriend, and his outfit is just Vasha Stampede's jacket, but black. That's the only way to put it. He went dressed in Vasha Stampede's goth phase jacket. Jessica's expression became the one she always wore when looking at Kanon. The listless Jessica from a second ago was gone. If he had still only known Jessica as the eventual successor to the Ushirumiya family, as he had until yesterday, he might have mistakenly thought that Jessica's mood had sprung back to normal. But that wasn't right. He now knew a part of her that he couldn't have seen until yesterday. So he understood that there was no way Jessica actually felt the way she appeared. Oh, about today's cultural festival. Well, thanks for coming with me so I could show off. You saved my butt out there. That song. You were really good. What? Really? You're embarrassing me. Even though she had heard the words she most wanted to hear, Jessica acted shyly and couldn't accept them openly. I cannot sing, and I don't know how to play any instruments other than the harmonica and the recorder, which I learned in elementary school. To be fair, I definitely had lots of music classes with recorders. I don't know how to actually play a harmonica. Like, I can blow into it and make sounds, but like, I don't know how to play like notes or music on a harmonica. I've never sat down and like learned that. I don't care if I do or not, but it's definitely something I don't know. So I simply assumed you were the same, lady. At the time, Kanon had never felt as though he'd been looking down on Jessica in this way. But all the people he'd seen playing special instruments were on the other side of the bronze tubes and the TV. It is insane to me that this is not the first visual novel we've encountered that drops the actual tubes in tube projection, like tube style television sets, CRTs. Not even crazy to me that that's been twice. If I had a nickel. Yeah, cool person vibes if you
Hey, master, I am math scientist. It's so cool. Son of a bitch.
Like, a harmonica is a really cool instrument, and it's one of those instruments that very few people care enough to even get competent at, me included. I have a respect for the people who are like, yeah, no, I want to learn how to play that. But I feel like my weird niche instrument that I will eventually one day sit down and practice more of is my kalimba. So, I don't know what type of vibes that'll give. Not prison vibes. Something vibes. Yeah, being pocket-sized is huge. Pocket-sized and relatively inexpensive. I'm sure to get one that's a little better is more than, like, the cheap toy ones you get. But I would imagine even something lower than, like, I am the best harmonica player in the world, and I will only play the best. I imagine even that, like, under that, it can't be crazy. No, musical instruments will always be pricey. So I take that back. But it's something you can get started on relatively cheaply. Whereas, like, even a cheap guitar, to get one that even sounds playable and not like a toy, takes at least some amount of down payment. And maintenance of changing strings. I don't even know if you have to maintain a harmonica. I don't know if it's just cheaper to buy a harmonica. I don't know. Yeah, pocket-sized, easy to, like, have on your person. Yeah, there's a lot of pros to it, for sure. But all the people he'd seen playing special instruments... Oh yeah, LeBron tubes on the TV. At the very least, he'd been under the impression that it'd be impossible for Jessica. I am furniture, so I don't believe there was any need to sing or play instruments. But I'm not sure anymore. Seriously, Kennen-kun? Enough with that I am furniture business. It's like a proper attitude you servants are supposed to have, right? Servants are supposed to be like living furniture. Genji-san says that a lot. It isn't just a proper attitude, because we really are furniture. I know the kids from the Fukin house receive assistance from grandfather in various ways. Fukuin? And I realize how grateful you are for that. But it's a bit cruel for you to have to call yourself furniture just because of that. We're all human, aren't we? Kennen-kun, when you saw me singing, what did you think? Looked like you were having a lot of fun. I don't think that's true. Huh? You didn't just think it looked fun. You were envious, weren't you? That's not... Kennen probably hadn't noticed that emotion himself. Most likely, Kennen saw something he'd never seen before, learned about it for the first time, and felt envious. And to trick himself out of that emotion, he'd called himself furniture over and over. I know I'm a successor to the Ushiramiya family, or whatever. And, well, I'm sure there'll be lots of annoying stuff to do from now on. As far as that goes, I can't do anything but give up, since I was born under an unlucky... I can't do anything but give up, since I was born under an unlucky star. Probably just like you had to live at the Fukuin house. I don't have a choice either. I couldn't choose the stars under which I was born. That may be true. But there's one place where you and I are completely different. Know what that is? I am furniture, and Milady is not. He was about to say that, but stopped. I do not know. Kennen-kun, you decided that your fate determines everything about you, and you gave up. But I can't accept this kind of fate, so I do the best I can. So, while there's still the rigid and cornered me that's gotta stay as a daughter of the Ushiramiya family, I've created another me that can do what I like to the fullest. Another you. Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, it very much, like, a skilled harmonica player is, I was going to say a sight to behold, but a sound to be heard. Crazy. Very talented. It's a musical instrument with range and with emotion, 100%. But, because it's also a thing that we just give kids to play around with, it's viewed as a lesser instrument. It's, you know, the same way that, like, I hate to say, but the same way that in America we used our animation exclusively to make shows for kids, so animation is viewed as a thing for kids. It's the same concept. We give all our harmonicas to kids, so we see harmonicas go, oh, it's an instrument for kids. And the few people who are like, wait, I like that, I want to learn it, don't get featured in a lot of things. You know. Yeah. Not only is it in the Sky Trails games, boy does it carry certain segments of it. Boy does it. Not only did they put it there, they put it as the focus, the musical emotional crux of that character. They were just like, hey, to the point where when you start up SC and those harmonica notes hit, you're like, oh, my heart. Yeah. Weaponizing the harmonica to destroy you. Forcing you to respect that instrument. Yeah, Kennen-kun, you've been instructed to say, because I'm furniture. I'm sure you've gone through a lot of tough times just because of that. I think that's Really unfortunate. But the idea that your entire life will be decided by that alone just seems sad to me. You know, it's always possible for people to create another self inside them, a self that they can truly grow to like. I'm not talking about escaping from reality, okay? When I'm that other self, I can really feel like I'm living a great life. So no matter how constrained and boring everyday life gets to be, I can always live on without suffocating. It's not bad, it's just not the same. Yeah, understandable. To make another self inside yourself that you can truly grow to like. To make another me, one that isn't furniture. Through her relationship with George-sama, has Shannon given birth to another self that isn't furniture? And did this other Shannon see something that cannot be seen by furniture? That's right. Well, I don't know anything about your private life, Kanon-kun, but I can sort of guess. Your private life probably doesn't exist at all. Am I right? Okay, yeah, a little ways ahead. I've got an even longer ways. Kanon couldn't reply, but that was an answer no. He had no concept of a private life, so Kanon would always be Kanon. So furniture would always be furniture. Kanon-kun, Kanon isn't your real name, right? In the Fukuin house, new graduates would be given new families and a new life, so they were also given a new name. Sounds like... This whole thing sounds fucked up, but like... You'll feel like less of a person if we give you a different name, because you're furniture now. You're not the person you were. In his case, that was Kanon. Certainly, this name of mine may be a temporary thing. Before he had thought of himself as Kanon and no one else. But he remembered. There definitely had been another self that wasn't Kanon. That was far, far away, beyond the distant fog of oblivion. So even for you, it should be okay to have times where you're Kanon-kun and times where you aren't. Maybe when you act as a servant, that Kanon-kun calls himself furniture and strictly limits his own will. But when you aren't Kanon-kun, I think it's okay to live much, much more freely. Those words definitely weren't just lip service. Jessica had also been like this in the past. She had cursed her own birth into an environment different from all of her friends at school. Only she had been in a heavily constricted environment, forced to learn all sorts of things. And she had even been told whom she was and wasn't allowed to play with. May have been sad, but she'd given up, resigning herself to the fact that she'd been born under that kind of star. But one day, Jessica stopped giving up and surrendering. Stuff like Ushiromiya family customs and pressures didn't matter. She created a real Jessica inside of herself, one who could do what she really wanted to do. You know, I go by the nickname Jessie at school. When I'm Jessie, I live life honestly and to the fullest. And because of that, I can do my best when I'm Jessica too. Would it really be so bad if you could also have times where you're Kanon and times where you're, your real name? When you aren't Kanon, can't you try becoming another self that you can like? A time when I'm not Kanon. He'd once thought of his real name as being completely meaningless. Yeah, that's by their design. Because of that, he'd thought that Kanon summed up everything about him. And now Jessica was telling him to create something new, another self that wasn't Kanon. Kanon-kun, if you don't mind, tell me, what's your real name? He was silent for quite some time. Maybe Kanon's real name had risen to the tip of his tongue. After hesitating for a long time over whether he should say it, in the end, he swallowed it back down. I forgot. My name doesn't matter anymore. Those words contained a faint rejection. No matter what kind of real name I had, the only truth now is that here I am Kanon. The past has nothing to do with anything. The materials with which furniture is made, be it a trunk of a tree or otherwise, are meaningless in the end. I told you to stop that. You aren't furniture, you're human, right? I'm not human. Kanon clearly voiced his refusal. It was with a rage that he normally didn't show. Jessica couldn't say anything back and was struck silent. You are human, milady. So you are free to live any way you please. And any kind of future is possible for you. It's almost like you have wings and can dance through the sky like a bird. But I'm not like that. Even if I looked like a bird, I'd be nothing more than a domestic duck. Ducks are cool too. even though they have wings that cannot fly. To speak to me of that dream in the sky despite that. It's just too cruel. You know, his argument would carry a lot more weight if Shannon wasn't literally just doing this right now. Like, no, I think you're trying really hard. He's holding the door to his cell closed as people are trying to pry it open. He's like, it won't open, I promise you, it's just not gonna open, it's not opening. And then getting mad at them for trying to open it and give him hope. Furniture and ducks! The hell is all this? No. Jessica had unconsciously gone along with Cannon's forceful manner of speaking, but she realized that she shouldn't fire back and swallowed her words. Full defense. Do they mean chicken? I don't know. People do keep ducks. I don't know if they can't fly. And to be fair, chickens can fly a short distance. I don't know anything about you. I don't even know your upbringing, and I don't know the hardships you've been through. So I can't even imagine why you started calling yourself furniture. I can, because they told him that's what he had to do, and that was the only way he was going to live or survive. And it was reinforced all the time. It's not something he came up with. This was forced on him. But know this. You aren't furniture or a duck. Actually, I don't really hate ducks, but you clearly don't seem to like ducks, so you're not a duck. You're a real human. If you want to say Cannon-kun's furniture when he's working as a servant, that's fine. But in that case, don't you think you can create a cell for when you aren't furniture, for when you're human? Only a human like Milady can embrace that possibility. Except that's false, because you know that Shannon has done it too! You stubborn fool! Not like that. I have no future, no possibilities, no dream that I'm allowed to see. So Milady, please don't say anymore cruel things. Yeah, oh, yes, the chains are there, you just can't see them. Except, right now you can see them pretty clear. Why? Why do you say stuff like that? Because it seems you mistakenly think I'm a human, same as you, Milady. We are different sorts of beings. Just wanted to make that clear. I heard from Shannon something about Milady liking me. Huh? What? I fully believe that Shannon would have no sense of subtlety. Truly do believe that. No! Look almost identical to a human. So, like Shannon, I could probably delude myself into thinking I'm human and pretend to love for a time. But then I would surely be fooling myself. No, I would be fooling you too, Milady. Shannon and George-sama will definitely fall apart. Even though Shannon herself probably realizes that day will come, she's taking part in such a stupid... There's nothing stupid about it. Sure, George Nissan's a wonderful person. He's got to match up to his parents' expectations. I'm sure when it comes to marriage, Aunt Ava will interfere in various ways, and I think their future prospects look like they'll be full of trouble, okay? But you know what? George Nissan isn't the kind of guy who'll surrender to that shit. Shannon's no Juliet, and he'll definitely bring her happiness. People cannot engage in romance with furniture. I think you're confusing cannot with should not. What I'm trying to say is that even if you can love furniture, I cannot love you, Milady. Like, I understand why he's this way, even though we don't have all the knowledge of his upbringing. I understand that he's been forced to be this way. But it's so, so awful to see someone fight this hard against someone trying to help. Correct. Not his fault. At all. This is all he knows. This is how he sees himself and what he truly believes is the only course for him. It ain't his fault. Man. Fighting so hard against somebody just trying to be like, maybe if you tried to help yourself a little bit, things might be a little, I could help you. Like, Those words of Cannon's crushed all of Jessica's bittersweet feelings from that day. There was no way her emotions could have predicted that she'd be refused so bluntly. In an instant, she lost the willpower that had led her to try and unravel something stubborn in Cannon's heart. And before she knew it, she was just standing there in shock. Lady, if your feelings for me were due to my conceit, then I must ask that you forgive me. No, well, I won't deny that. Thank you very much. Huh? Thank you very much for thinking of me as a human. Those feelings alone really do make me happy. Anything more would be too cruel for me, so... No, I've said enough. Oh, sorry about that. Jessica recklessly scratched at her head and spoke, trying to force her voice to sound bright. Just kinda ran on ahead of myself. I was a burden on you. I'm really sorry. And now she's apologizing for having the gall to try to help. Sorry for causing so much trouble on your precious day off. No. It's also happy that I could see you having fun. You know he wasn't going to do anything with his time off. He's definitely sitting in his room watching paint dry. Like... And let's call it a night. He's not even watching paint dry, because that would imply that he did something like paint a wall. If I don't get back to my room and turn off the lights, Mom will get mad at me again. It's probably for the best. I wish you a good night, my lady. Yeah. Staring is his favorite sport. He broods. Yeah, good night. Cannon saw Jessica trot away with her back to him, looking disheartened. But then she suddenly broke into a reckless dash and disappeared in the direction of the mansion. As he watched her back, for just an instant, Cannon was tormented by the feelings that he'd just made a huge mistake. Massive. Life direction altering. Now, I'm not saying you should date Jessica. If you don't want to date Jessica, cool. I think you're wrong. That's a personal take. But she wasn't trying to help him because she liked him. She was trying to help him because she saw somebody who's in a very similar situation that she managed to crawl her way out of by a slight change of perspective and be like, hey, this really helped me. Maybe you should try it. It could really help you. You could see yourself as a human. But he hadn't made a mistake at all. He'd been forced to refuse her now for her sake, while the pain was still at its smallest. Nice going, making a woman cry like that. Again, the mistake was not having romantic feelings for her. Or telling her. The mistake is not viewing yourself as a human being who could possibly ever have emotions, even though you constantly have emotions and they're all just negative. I didn't expect you to refuse her that strongly. If you'd given a normal answer, another pair of lovers would have been born thanks to my magic. How long have you been there? What a horrible person. When he turned around, the witch was suddenly there. It looked like she'd been there the whole time, watching the two of them as though enjoying a play. I shall forgive you for your insults just this once, in deference to that amusing little show. Even after 1,000 years, no more interesting show exists than complications between boys and girls. To me, it's a pleasure that's better and more addictive than opium. Wow. Getting high off of lovers' quarrels and one-sided feelings and legit relating it to opium. She reads yes. Cannon pulled the butterfly brooch out of his pocket. It was the manifestation of the great magic the witch had bestowed. Without hesitation, Cannon slammed it against the ground and stomped on it. Oh? What is the meaning of this? You know that was given by me. Just now, I figured it out. What you're doing isn't as tasteful as being a cupid of love. You're just a demon who enjoys showing love to those who can never be together, deceiving them. You're free to think that. Most humans I lend my power to say the same thing. Don't play dumb. You didn't lend Shannon your power because you felt sorry for her. You found a weak point in Shannon's heart as her chest burned with love, and you made her break the mirror that sealed you. What's more, you guessed how this would all end, and now you're toying with her. Am I wrong? Furniture has a thoroughly pitiful existence, so you have no dreams, no future, and even no love. Good, good. There's nothing better than knowing your place. As you noticed, there was a faint love residing in Jessica's heart. You seem to think you snipped it in the bud. But did you know? Trees grow thicker branches if you thin out and prune them. A girl who loves furniture, is it? Amusing, how truly amusing. Shannon and George will also eventually reach a stalemate with their unfulfillable love, ripening into the sort of large fruit I love. However, regretfully, it seems to be going so smoothly for those two that it's hardly entertaining anymore. But on the plus side, it seems the two of you will amuse me to no end. The witch laughed. Even though she had known the two could never be together, she had lent magic to bring them together. However, they couldn't escape the fate that prevented them from ever being truly joyful. The witch knew that. Even if they were joined, Shannon and George, Cannon and Jessica would eventually break up. They would wander through an endless desert in this hell of love, tormented by an eternal thirst. I really strongly, at my core, disagree with the concept that if two people are going to potentially, if not probably, break up at some point, that they shouldn't think about dating. Everything in life ends. Everything ends. Everything. Some earlier, some later. Everything ends. And that shouldn't stop you from trying. And statistically speaking, most people do not stay forever with their first date. Statistically speaking. There are some that do. Cool. Awesome. Hats off to them. But like, I guess part of this ties into the whole, I still think the journey has large value even if the ending isn't great. But this is more than that, because I can't say I know people in real life, but I definitely do know that there are people in real life, not that I know personally, that use the fear of, well, it's just going to end, to stop them from even doing. And besides the whole point of, you learn a lot about yourself and about other people, how to interact with yourself and other people, how to do anything, you're unlikely to find the person you will be forever with if you don't have the practice and interactions of interacting with other people. But even if you ignore that, it's something so against my core being and philosophy that it rubs me the wrong way. But like, yeah. Well, don't get me wrong, like, I struggle with romance, but I get why I struggle with romance. My hobbies are generally indoors. I have a job that pays for the things I do, but I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a car. The things that I view as positives about me don't look great on, let's say, a dating app, where you summarize everything to a paragraph. I know that the problems with my romantic life are because of decisions I've made about how my life goes. There are days it rubs me the wrong way, this ain't one of them. But like, I still understand that, like, I've had a pretty decent romantic life up until a decade ago. And, you know, that was definitely in large part because I was like, yeah, let's try this out. Every time they get interested in something yeah, like, my issue is definitely meeting people. I don't go out and do stuff a lot, and it is such a trope of, like, guys hitting on women at, like, magic events that, like, card stores have, like, ladies' nights just to be like, please, we promise nobody will awkwardly hit on you these nights. So, like, I don't want to be that guy. I really don't. Especially because I don't go to play Magic to meet dating partners. I go to Magic because I like playing cards. If someday in the future that were to be how I meet somebody, fantastic. That would only be awesome. But like, I've heard enough horror stories from people that I wouldn't even, like, at all. But yeah, we're diverting from the main point, but the main point being, like, even if Shannon and George break up, I do truly believe both of their lives, didn't mean to punch the mic there, both of their lives will still be improved and better because they dated. If nothing else, they have these moments of joy. They learn stuff about themselves. Like, right now, I fundamentally, hard on a soul level, disagree with Beatrice, which I can't imagine is going to be the first time. They would wander through an endless desert in this hell of love, though Eternal Thirst is still very funny, don't get me wrong. I do love Tormented by an Eternal Thirst as a, this is what's going to happen after they break up. I think that's pretty funny. What did you think? I'd lend you my powers and ask for nothing in exchange? It is true. At least Shannon paid her due, as it were. I'll gladly assist a pair in love, and in exchange I'll enjoy watching the cruel fate they'll eventually meet. I've never come across a better show, not over the course of 1,000 years. Just look at Kinzo. See how he ended up an old pitiful man who learned the taste of love before being thrown out of paradise. Look at how he lives, like a dead man that cannot fully die. You truly are a witch. Disappear. Get out of my sight, demon. Oh, I would disappear even without your prompting. My power still hasn't returned. It is still tiring to continue showing myself. It takes great effort for me to come here and talk shit to you, but it's important to me, so I do it. I overdid it when I gave you lovers my power. As I am now, it would not be easy for me to maintain that power without that brooch as a catalyst. Cannon ground his foot even more into the stomped brooch. He felt it break under his foot. Then it evaporated like water, and changed into butterflies that sparkled gold fluttering out from beneath Cannon's foot. Yeah. Maintaining this form is quite painful for me as well. I will hide myself for a time, just as you desire. My magical power will rise as surely as the moon and the tides. And eventually, a fitting time will come for my revival. I know not in the slightest whether that will be tomorrow, next year, or even 100 or 1,000 years in the future. But as long as there are those who entertain me, I will surely gain power and revive. I will disappear for a short while until that time comes. The bruise on the palm of your hand is already gone. So if you wish, tomorrow morning you can let my existence vanish like an illusion or a dream. After all, nothing saddens me more than being forgotten. However, I will surely be revived. Be on your guard so that you will not regret that day's coming when it arrives. I will surely have my second coming and rule over everything as this island's true master. That is the time when the door to the Golden Land will be opened again. The greedy dead will surely wake me. You talk too much. Disappear now, Golden Witch. Bye. The witch became a cloud of golden butterflies and scattered away, leaving behind a scornful laugh. The whole area sparked like a gold blizzard in a snow globe. On the topic of music, instrumentation, and things, it's not quite the same as a harmonica, because it gets some amount of respect, but it is musically typecast. I want to hear more organ and stuff. Because, like, also tying back to Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, that game hit you with the rock overdriven guitar and the blaring organ, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, organ does really good because of cultural history at portraying an evil, conniving villain. Probably somebody who came from money, probably somebody who is either smarter than your average, just I want to do evil villains, or at least thinks they are. I get it. I get why it's that way. I understand. And it does great in that. It gets the point across perfectly. But having heard it being used in other situations where it's not just for that one driving reason, it can be so good, and you just don't hear it in anything else. You only hear it as a yeah, like, again, I understand why that is the cultural knowledge of, and, like, impact of the instrument. I get it. I understand. Totally do. 100%. But it has use outside of that, too. And you never see... Oh, not never. Because I just said Nocturne does it. You so rarely see it outside of that. And it can be so good. It's a fleeting, fantastical scene that disappeared in a heartbeat. The witch could no longer be seen. However, Kennen felt like he could still hear that shrill, unpleasant laugh. That's true. It is also used for baseball. I guess that's the other. I think I might end it here. I'm definitely feeling the fade. This is probably as close to a obvious stopping point as we're going to get. I did do quote fingers here, but I'm holding my water bottle. So all you saw was one quote in a water bottle. Tonight's been an interesting one. All streams of Umineko have been interesting, for sure. This has definitely been a little more unexpected in many ways. Seeing the more casual, chill side of Beatrice, seeing the more casual, chill side of Jessica, seeing Kennen really, truly, to his core, refuse any ounce of potential help in his future ever. Ever. It's been a night. Seeing high school, seeing Vash the Goth Stampede, it's been a time. Hopefully next time there won't be the visual bug, but honestly, now that I know that there's not something wrong with my computer, it's fine. I notice it, for sure. It hasn't really stopped us from enjoying any part of this. It's been weird at points, but, like, it's really not that intrusive. I'd like it to be fixed. I'm not going to lose sleep. And especially knowing it's not something I screwed up or my computer's dying. That was my real worry, that I did something weird or the computer's dying. And if it's not that, cool. Whatever, it's fine. I will manage. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. This has been Viper of Viperland. As stated, tomorrow definitely off, because I'll be picking up pots. Or I'll be with everyone picking up pots from the airport. Tuesday is a real possibility, but I don't want to guarantee it. Because Potts is only here for so long, once a year. But Tuesday is an actual possibility. If I do Tuesday, it'll definitely be faffing about in Gold Wars, for sure. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is definitely off. I was unaware that Potts was coming back Monday, too, which is awesome, but that does mean I definitely don't know if Monday stream is going to happen. If we don't do the chill chair stream Monday, I'm going to do the chill chair stream Tuesday, because I do like the idea of turning on song requests, going into Guild Wars, and trying to sit on all the chairs we can for the chair achievement. I think that's a fun stream idea. I don't know if we're doing it in one stream. I don't even know if we'll succeed. They might be locked behind some content I don't know about, because I haven't looked into it. All I've seen is that the wiki does have a here's where you can find them, but I haven't read through it, and I don't know how easy, hard, or impossible it will be for me. However, I think it'll make for a fun stream. So if not the Monday I come back, it'll be the Tuesday. Either way, we're doing that because I like that idea a lot. After that, Mondays we're probably going to finish Nevergrave, and then I imagine we'll either faff about in Endless Ragnarok or go to Neo 3. I know what Grim wants us to do, and I'm sure if nothing else we'll do at least some streams of Endless Ragnarok. I don't know if I'll commit to, like, we're going to do all of it on stream all the time, but, like, it would kind of be silly not to play at least some of it together, right? But yeah. That's the broad strokes, future stuff coming up. Generally speaking, either August or October, I'm heading down to Georgia. I'm not sure when. Really not. I just know it won't be September, and it won't be July. I know that for sure. Hold on, let me hit the